Well, hello there. Greetings and salutations, League of Legends fans. For I am Sodaron, the great and powerful wizard of League of Legends. Okay, I'm not powerful. Maybe not even great, but the wizard of League of Legends. Here I am, Sodaron, with another VOD review. Hopefully you out there, you're enjoying my LCK VOD reviews. Let me turn my microphone up first. Okay, not turn up my microphone, but place my microphone. I'm learning how to do this. So it's taken me 2 years to learn how to do this streaming thing. So that's how long it's taken me. If you want to become a streamer and get off the ground, I'm showing you how to do it. A lot of hard work. Now, like, I'm trying to be here to stay, right? Like, I'm not trying to get famous with a highlight clip or something. I have a body of work. I have 60 some videos up now on my YouTube channel. But there's a wise man in esports out there named Thorin that a lot of you don't like, and that's cool, whatever. But he said, hey, you want to get in this, just start making videos. And that's how you do it. I'm up to 60 now, or 61, 62. It's taken me 2 years to get here. So today what we're doing is the Saturday Showdown, or whatever they call it in LCK. I think it's Saturday Showdown, or Saturday Show Match, Saturday Showdown. So I'm here just kind of riffing for a second so I can make sure my volume levels are good on my microphone. And before I pilot this thing, that looks good. Oh, that got turned down. I don't know why, but Windows loves to turn down the volume settings. So there we go. Glad we looked at that first. There we go. Okay. So there's some of my riffing there, and that's why I'm trying to iron some kinks out. I'm seeing to do this and get successful, you have to be here every day or at least 5 days of the week. So here I am again, guys, beating this dead horse to death, preaching and saying the same things on my soapbox. So here we are on the Sodaron channel at twitch.tv/Sodaron. Please tell your friends and follow. I know some of you don't like League of Legends. That's cool. We'll do other games, or we can do other games. Got a big TV over there. I'm sure there's a way to get a camera shot. Got a lot of Nintendo games I could play. Unfortunately, I have a lot of Nintendo games just sitting around where I haven't played through them, just collecting dust. I have Color Splash just sitting over there unopened. I would love to bring that on the Sodaron stream here and play it. Or Shredder's Revenge is sitting over there. I've not played through it yet. I've got a physical copy. Or Twilight Princess, the HD for the Wii U. Can get a capture card or something. So that's something I can do here on the Sodaron channel. It does not have to be League of Legends. I'm just kind of using League of Legends, one, for my springboard to get into this streaming thing, because I have the most confidence in League of Legends, and I've been watching it religiously for 11 years now, which I can get into my story and tell you why I'm crazy enough to do that, but that's just how my life played out. I may have went over it a little bit, but why? If you want to know why I got into League of Legends, I was a Warcraft 3 player, and there's a lot of similarities in Warcraft 3 and League of Legends. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a clone or a copy of it, but it does play very similar to Warcraft 3, or I played a lot of Diablo 2 back in the day, so League of Legends is kind of similar the way it plays. You get a character and control it, and 5 buttons to mash, really. The way I look at League of Legends is, all right, I got Q, W, E, and R. Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. So I got Q, W, E, R, and then D and F. And then if you want to really get advanced, then you got F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. And what's the recall button? R? Or there's also a recall button. I can't tell you it off the top of my head. But because you don't just instantly recall unless you have the Baron buff. Maybe it's still got a second or two. So you've got the responsibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12 buttons there. So where I played other games where, like EverQuest, where you've got like your whole keyboard's got different hotkeys and stuff. I even tried to get back into live EQ, but it's just too many abilities and stuff that my mind can't do it, so I can't even get into it. I stopped at level 100. So the way I view League of Legends is, personally, it's not that complicated of a game that I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 12 or 13 buttons. I guess there's like the 1 and 2 and 3, so another 15. It's not too much responsibility because I played other games that, like Warcraft 3, for example, where I'm controlling 3 champions at one time instead of just 1, plus multiple units. I would like to show that, but unfortunately, I have the original copy of Warcraft 3, and Blizzard wants me to pay another $30 to have the digital version. Now, I would be willing to buy it. They've updated the ladder and the whole ranking system, I think. So maybe it's something I need to do, but I don't really have the extra $30 just to get the game, just to have some extra content right now. Further down the pipe, maybe I can get that game and show some things on my stream where there's a lot of similarities in the game to League of Legends. It's something I would like to have and has held me back on my channel here, where I don't have the live copy of Warcraft 3. I have the original disc and I can't even load it or play it in today's time. And I don't know if I'm happy spending another $30 or not for the same game. Hey now, Leon, how are you doing today, buddy? Let him have a second. Hey now, Pizza. Hey guys, thank you for showing up. I'm starting to learn how to use OBS, guys, and I'm starting to learn how to run this stuff, so it's getting better. Thank you for all of your support, because these two gentlemen here, maybe they're ladies, I don't know, maybe you're ladies. I assume you're gentlemen. They've been here loyally supporting me since the beginning, so I really appreciate your help, Leon and Pizza. There's been a couple other ones that were there, but I haven't seen them around in a while. That's okay. I know that I'm getting views on my stuff, so I know there are some eyes out there watching my stuff, so that's more reason to keep working on it. So again, guys, I appreciate you showing up in my chat. I'm not playing solo queue tonight. I'm doing the VOD review, but what I planned was to do this VOD review, and I would like to be able to knock it out in 2 or 3 hours, or 2 hours, and maybe then I can redo the stream and play some solo queue or something. But I've done a lot of streaming the last couple of weeks, so I think I kind of need my rest a little bit, because I rested today and the night before. Now, coming up next week, I do have 2 doctor's appointments on Tuesday and Wednesday, so those will be in my way of whatever streaming I'm doing. I'm trying to stream at least 5 days a week, maybe 6. I've done it like 2 weeks in a row now, so maybe longer than that. It started with right before World Cup, and I haven't stopped. But I'm also seeing that I'm getting views. Like if I keep streaming, then it just keeps the eyes on me. So you can't really stop once you do it. That's the thing. So I'm seeing how all that pays off. So, you know, shoot me questions. Maybe I can help you if you need help or advice how to start streaming. Maybe I'm the guy to ask, because I started from nowhere and I had to buy a webcam back in 2021 and a Yeti mic. And I didn't have a PC even capable of streaming until then. I think my PC before this was like a 2012 Dell that had like 8 gigs of RAM, and it was like a 750 GTX or something, so it couldn't handle streaming. It worked fine for playing League of Legends. It's just it couldn't handle playing League of Legends and streaming at the same time. Now I'm kind of in a bind where I think I might need another rig, where I know for sure I need another monitor so I can drag all this over and you guys not see this. A lot of this, I think a lot of people get turned off by this screen when they're watching VODs and stuff, but I'm just doing it as to warm up and make sure my volume level's good, and because I don't have a sound guy, so right now it's a one-man show. I got to run all of this. Again, thank you, Leon and Pizza, because you've helped me a lot with my stream. You show up, you're loyal, you give me views, so I really appreciate it. I'm not even trying to make money right now. I'm trying to just get followers on Twitch. I have 35 right now, and my goal is 50, so I can become a Twitch affiliate. And then that gives me the opportunity where I may be able to travel around the country, or maybe to another state, or I mean, I've seen some people travel to Europe. So it gives me some opportunities of promotion and growing my stream. So that's my goal right now. I was trying to do too much, where I was trying to grow my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. Right now, I'm trying to just focus on my Twitch. So I see Twitch has a very good opportunity for streamers. I don't have a TikTok. I'm against TikTok. So sorry if out there you guys like TikTok and you don't have Sodaron on TikTok. I don't know if I'll ever be on there. Make a parody account. I don't know. It's just not really worth my time. I think they're very inflated numbers. I'll give you an example. This is a gentleman I really like. Please check him out. GamerDad at GamerDad TV. I'm trying to see if this is worth my time. Now, I'm looking at, he has 9 million likes. 9 million likes. And he has 365,000 followers on TikTok. Okay, now that sounds like a lot of views and follows. I mean, he's getting 3 million views. That's a lot. Now, if you're looking at YouTube numbers, that's ridiculous. If you're looking at YouTube. I worked hard and I got 18 views. Now, I'm proud I got 18 views on this video. I'm doing like a 3-hour show every time. So I feel like long term, it's going to be worth my time. I'm not trying to get famous from some random clip in solo queue. I give you stuff like my brand, but I'm not trying to grow my brand that way. I'm just trying to slowly be here every day and get Sodaron into the name of the consciousness of the League of Legends scene. So that's what I'm working on. And so I just wonder, is TikTok worth my time? Let me look at something else here. This is where I need a second monitor. I apologize. I'm still here. I'm just checking out his Twitch stream. GamerDad. Again, go follow him. I'm here. I'm not AFK. I would like to maybe like do some solo queue with this gentleman sometime. Okay. We're around about the same rank right now, GamerDad and I, so I guess we're both GamerDads. I just have a little chihuahua. Oops. I don't even have him followed on Twitch. I'm sorry, GamerDad. I follow him on Twitter, and I really like the content he's putting out. He's a college professor. So it makes me happy to see that there's somebody older than me that's playing League of Legends, because I feel like I'm too old to play this game. But I'm just wondering, is it worth my time or not to do TikTok? That's all the point I was making. Maybe I just broke a rule. I don't know if you're allowed to even promote other people or not. I'm just sharing my views and world with you. And so today what we have going on the Sodaron stream is match 37 here of Damwon Kia versus Gen.G, which is the big match of the week, right? They call it the Saturday Showdown or the Saturday Show match. Saturday Showdown. I also know that Gen.G had a live viewing party in LA because I saw the tweet come out and I instantly was like trying to RSVP because I thought it was like a remote view party of something. And then I realized it's in LA. Oh, I don't live in LA, so I can't go to that. Now, I'd also really like to do these games here too, but again, I think this is all I'm doing this week is this today. However it turns out, I've not watched these games. We've got the top two teams playing right here. So this is truly a Saturday show match right now as I'm working as a caster to sell it to you. But Gen.G is 7-0 and DK is 6-1. I think I came up with another way to do my draft that might... I'm slowly learning, working my process here on this stream. But I thought of maybe a different way to do my drafts on sheets instead of paper because you guys can't see it. And then I also came into a problem I don't like when I'm watching my stream right here. These aren't probably things I'm even supposed to show to my fans. Let me see, one little thing here. Again, I'm not AFKing at this point. I'm just putting my blinder up real quick. I'm just trying to get into one of my VODs to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I want my camera. Now I can move it around and stuff. It may need to be minimized out a little bit because when I noticed when I'm doing the, like showing you the draft in the beginning, my big ugly face is right in the way. I can't do that and then stream. And so I guess you could see it there. Okay, so I was worried about this. It's trying to figure out where's the best camera placement. We have the opportunity here on the Sodaron stream where we could maybe get some type of help getting funding for a green screen, which would be nice. So you could put behind me and then you won't see this background. You'll just see my big ugly face and my beautiful blue skin, since I am a dark elf wizard after all. You would see that. So those are some things I'm working on, planning on, trying to change here on the Sodaron stream. At some point would be nice to have a green screen and just be able to put myself up in here. Again, we're not there yet. May need minimized volume in, but the way I do my drafts, I had to get a new notebook because my first notebook's full. I titled this one, "If you want to play games with the devil, first you must learn to lose." So if you want to win, first you must learn to lose. You can't win every game in every battle. So here's a whole notebook, 75-page notebook full of draft notes, right? But I can't really share these with you. I'm not a liar. I sit here and watch all of these. Hopefully that you trust me and realize when I'm giving you information, you can tell I sit here and watch these. I'm giving you a lot of things that would take you a long time to figure out, and I'm spoon feeding them to you. And at the end of the day, if you're a League of Legends player and you want to get better at the game, if you watch my content, you should become a better player. Overall. Just watching me, from how I handle my problems to trying to teach kids to act like adults in some of my problems. Trying to grow as a teacher. I think a teacher is an important role, and I think everyone needs to be a teacher. It doesn't have to be a profession. That everyone's job is to teach kids how to grow up and be a better person. So sure, maybe I'm a teacher or a coach, whatever, a wizard. So anyways, gonna go on here to getting this match started. Again, this is the Saturday Showdown, so this is the big banger, as you guys call them. I'm learning to... I was really bad when I start my stream where I use up all of my energy in about the first 15 minutes talking. And then I'm like, oh man, I gotta do like 5 more hours of this or 8 more hours of this. How am I gonna get through this? So I did learn that maybe it would be smarter if I would try to conserve my energy a little bit in the beginning to use it elsewhere along the stream. Let me get my earbuds out. I'm listening to one of my favorite artists, Armin van Buuren, right now, that just put out a really awesome set. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it or not. It's a shame I can't send it or share it with you, but I can't. So I was kind of jamming out to my trance there and forgot what I was doing. Get my headphones on. Okay. Mic placement. I really need one of these mics on a boom stand where it's right here in front of my face, so I don't have to lean over here and talk. But again, it all depends if everyone enjoys this stream and tells their friends to like and follow. I'm not trying to make money off of it right now. I mean, if you really like this, subscribe to Sodaron on twitch.tv. I don't know, that's up to you. I do get kind of... I don't understand some of the streamers I've seen over the years where I'm just really like, I don't understand why people pay this person money, but that's just me. So I don't know. I can't tell you all what to do with your money. That's up to you. So if you want to help support this stream, again, if you're somebody that's an artist or you're trying to sell views to people, I don't need your help. Just like and follow my content and watch it. That's it. That's how it grows. Now, I'm guessing you can go and spend money. Let me look at one of the top gentlemen here, how much views he gets. Going back to the TikTok thing. Here's another good guy right here that's putting in a lot of work, Nymera. And I can see where his views went way up this season. So I can see his hard work's paying off. Nymera. Let's see LS. Okay, LS has 347,000 subscribers.
Wait.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It goes back to what I was talking about with the TikTok views, that he gets a lot of views in 9 days. 173,000 views. Now, are those real viewers? Are those bots? Are there bots on TikTok that watch stuff and inflate numbers? I don't know. So, supposedly this is a very successful streamer on League of Legends. I've always been against how this person, LS, kind of handles and talks and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. But again, I don't dislike him. I don't dislike anybody here on the Sodaron Twitch channel. We're all friends. And even my enemies are my friends. So, just saying. I don't get how this content that this person puts out gets so much views. It's almost, to me, here we got Top playing against G2. Now, I put this stuff out like, okay, 9 days ago. I put out 8 hours of this working by myself for 4 days in a row. And so I think LS was late on some of them because I do follow him on Twitch. Or not on Twitch, on Twitter. I don't know how LS gets the most views, it kind of goes back to like TikTok looks like to me that numbers are inflated, and I get people always asking me to pay them money to get views. Well, that's not what I'm out here for. I'm not saying that's how LS runs or handles his stuff, but at the end of the day, it kind of the numbers don't add up to me. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Maybe LS is super rich as far as I know. I'm not in this for the money. Would like to make a living off of it. Who knows if I will or not. I may have to go shovel coal for a living here. I'm sweeping the streets. But I would rather do this. I may have to go work at McDonald's someday.
What the hell?
But
Okay, well,
I'm trying to make a living doing this.
what is going on?
I just think that paying money for views off of the bat is not going to help me with anything.
In Ezreal Sivir.
The way I see it is you can't get famous streaming overnight. If I got 100,000 viewers tomorrow all of a sudden, I wouldn't be able to handle it. There would be too much pressure on me. I would be profusely sweating everywhere. So that's just me. Anyways, I'm on here today to talk about Damn One Kia and GEN.G and break down some in-depth analysis for you, which I think I did. I'm a little proud of myself here that I did some growing this week and trying to do some in-depth analysis instead of doing the same old thing every time. So I'm trying to, when I stream, learn a little bit, do some things differently. Again, like I said, the camera, I'm not very good at working the camera or zooming it in and out. I know like during the broadcast, if I need to change it and stuff, I can zoom it around, or if I get another computer screen, that it would make this so much easier for me where I could just drag OBS over to that. And I'm running this all on my one monitor. I've just got a 25-inch monitor. I tried to make the same setup like you would get on a professional League of Legends tournament. So I tried to set up my PC like that. It's probably not good for streaming on, because I can see why you need the second monitor. So who knows if this stream takes off, or perhaps I can take a loan or something and get a second monitor and maybe a better PC rig. There I could do my own editing instead of relying on YouTube. So just things to come on the Sodaron channel if the stream takes off and grows. If nobody likes it, then why invest money? Don't want to play music. That's a big no-no. We've got the Saturday Showdown.
D+ looking so good right now.
And again, the standings right now. GEN.G and DK are the top two teams in the LCK right now.
Mess of the games we're going to be served here today. I think DK just somehow are able to pull GEN.G off of their normal.
I'd like to have time to do DRX and
clean and
KDF.
controlled League of
We're
Legends.
just doing
I
GEN.G
don't
today
know
and
how,
Damn One.
but I know
I
that
put out
Showmakers
enough work
somehow.
over the last 2
Yeah,
weeks.
definitely
I'm
is.
confident.
It's just one of those facts.
I'm the
that
type of
often just
person where
happens.
I'm
We
always
call a
trying to
Saturday
do
Showdown
more,
matchup of
and I
second
need to actually
versus
relax
first,
a
and
little bit.
That is purely based off the fact that D+ have really been able to find some form elsewhere in the LCK moving towards this matchup.
We got the matchup of the second place and the first place team right now in the LCK going on.
But I don't think any of
I
us
apologize
really
that I didn't get this out a night or two earlier, but again, there's so many matches going on in League of Legends that one person can't keep up with this. I feel like a lot of you out there fall for an illusion of others that try to or do stay on top of the curve.
On the POG rankings, and it was up until
there are some out
the
there.
end of
It's like the
2021
next.
like, is Canyon just gonna have a monopoly on?
Well,
POG
it just
for the
doesn't
rest of
matter.
his
They
life?
put content
And it
out
turns
so
out
fast.
that
I
wasn't
can't
the
keep up
case
with them.
because Trophy was
What
gonna
this is the
really
point
take
I'm
over
trying to
things
make.
like this.
Is I can't keep up
But
at their
this could be
pace.
his
They've
return
been
form there.
doing
It's
it for
also, when it
years
comes to
and
the
are
meta right now,
successful and
obviously
have
the
a
place to
crew
be.
and all that. There is no
Particularly
crew here at the
junglers, we've seen even
Sodaron
at
channel.
junglers be very
Got
impactful
Leon
as,
and Pizza that
Showmaker
show up and
Cody
help
had the
support
hand.
and help me with
Do know
my
that
sound
these
and
guys have
stuff.
been going
So
at
I
it for a
greatly
really long time,
appreciate
came
them.
into the LCK, and they've both had
Seems like you put in
periods
hard work,
of
you gain
extreme
loyal
dominance, which
followers
is
that
why
will
this is
always
so
be
close.
there.
Even though, we had a couple of dark years for DK when they came in. I think
So
they
in
were
this match,
definitely
they're
also not up
saying
to the
that
level
we've
of
got
Griffin
two of the
initially.
top mid
And then on
laners
the
playing
flip
against
side,
each other in
Chovy
this.
had the Hanwha
Again, this
Light
is
here, which was an interesting one.
this should be
DRX,
your
even
most
though they were a
exciting
great team
video
also.
here,
And
guys.
this is apt because I
Viewers,
am as convinced
you
that
should
this
be
is a
hyped
gamer
for this
as
show
I am
match.
that Gen.G is gonna
These are
win
the
this.
top
Like,
two teams in the
this is
LCK
just
right
how
now.
it goes, Atlas.
Now,
If it doesn't happen,
maybe
then we
the
are
rankings
breaking
are
the
skewed.
laws of physics here in the LCK.
He
And I
won,
would
just
love it,
won
but I'm not gonna actually believe it
EWC
before
World
the
Cup.
Nexus of Gen.G
So,
is actually in tatters.
No, exactly.
Who
We'll
truly
just have
is
to see
number
whether
two.
D+ can do it once again, or whether Gen.G can stand up to the power.
Just asking
the
questions
force
there.
of this squad, because they are the home team today. They got side selection, and as you can see.
Okay, so
Be able to
Damn
put their
One
best
Kia
foot
is the
forward
home
here,
team.
utilize that
Again,
side
I don't know
selection,
why,
get
but Riot
first.
Games, for some
That
reason,
means
they
that they
want to
might be
live
able
in a
to put-
completely
will be
different
welcoming
world than
D+.
reality. So in normal sports, the home team would be over here, but would be the blue team, the home team. But for some reason in League of Legends, the home team is over here on the left side. So that makes it confusing. And all I'm saying is, like, say you like American football. Okay, I like American football. I go here and look at the schedule. Every American sport is like this. It allows us fans to know a consistency. The home team is always here on the right side or stage left, and the away team is over here. Whereas Riot wants to see it. Well, yeah, that's how Riot wants to see it. Where it should be like this. So it's confusing. So anyway, Damn One Kia is the home team.
Plus Kia to Lolpark first. That means that they might be able to put their best foot forward here, utilize that side selection.
Now,
get
the way I'm
themselves
doing
power
these
picks,
is
and,
I used to
try
sit
win
and
that
watch
game
these
number
and
one,
take
'cause I think
notes
winning game number
before
one gonna be extraordinarily
I did
important
my
for
VOD
momentum,
reviews. I started
especially
doing
for
VOD
D+,
reviews
'cause if
2
you
years ago.
realize
I think
that
that
Gen.G
I
are
do
fallible,
an
then,
okay
I mean,
job.
sky's the limit from that point onwards.
And we have evidence
I like that
of
they're wearing
Obviously,
Crocs.
Gen.G
I'm a big
still
fan of
undefeated
Crocs
in the
and
LCK,
clogs.
but did drop a 2-0 best of 2
Yep.
or best of 3 rather against TES.
Unfortunately, I
It
don't
would've
even
been a
wear
2-0 if it was
Crocs
best of 2
anymore.
as
I
well, though.
upgraded
So I guess
Very
it's
true.
absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
So we actually
to
we don't-
Birkenstocks
we
a couple
couldn't
years
possibly
ago.
know.
No.
They
Would've
last a
been the
lot
only
longer.
Best of 2 that they had in the whole tournament. It was
Exactly.
a strange format, you know.
I would rather
Things are
buy
very, very
shoes
weird.
that
As Gen.G gonna make
last
their
me
way
a
out,
few
their
years
jackets
than
looking absolutely amazing.
Oh, the
have
new
to throw
collab?
away
Yeah,
after like
I'm
4
a
or
big
5
fan.
months, 6
Absolutely huge
months.
fan.
getting
Yeah,
there.
Gen.G, we're going to talk about the team a lot as well, but I always love that they try to push the Tiger team. They are picture perfect from them. But
So
the
I'm
most
just
important
showing you
thing
all out
that I
there.
really
If this
wanna
is your
highlight
first
that it is
time
one of those
watching
rosters
Gen.G,
where it
you
feels
can
like
see the
everyone can have a
players.
carry performance. Yes,
Now I'm
Kia
sure
one
if
of the
you're
most
watching
OGs,
this that you know who
but
Gen.G
the
is.
fact that you can make an argument for every single player on the roster.
Now this
is
matchup
insane
here,
as
this
we take-
is another hyped matchup, I would say. I don't understand why I'm saying terms like hyped, but I guess I'm trying to be younger and fit in with everybody out there. But Canyon and Lucid. Lucid was Canyon's protege, his challenger player below him. So Lucid has trained under Canyon. And then Canyon went to a different team this year. And Lucid got off the challenger squad, and he's now on the main squad for Damn One Kia. So this is a good matchup here where it's the master against the apprentice. And the stats kind of showed if you're looking at it. I mean, not so much here looking at it, but the KDA shows these two guys are fairly similar. So this makes this a hyped matchup or this is one of the big matchups in the game. So moving
Take a
forward.
look at the stats here. So I do want to highlight
Ken's got to chill out, man.
a lot of this is, and I think Lucid had an incredible split. I still think obviously Kenyon's ahead of him.
Point
A lot of
picks.
this is very
So,
champion.
take a note of this too. Lucid 6-1 with Vi. We may see something about this later on. Canyon has 3 wins with Karthus, Sejuani, and Nidalee. It has 4 wins with Zyra. Lucid's 1 win, 2 losses with Nidalee, so we probably won't see Nidalee. May see these too. So just looking at this, this may show us the champions we see. Probably not her, probably not him. This is Canyon's main jungler that's made him famous, even though I think his Lee Sin's the one that I think makes him really famous. I think he's the best Lee Sin. Trying to, it's hard to label best. That's the, I've been a huge fan of Tarzan, and I used to defend Tarzan and say that Tarzan was better than Canyon. But here, now that I'm trying to stream and do this and be professional, I don't even like labeling bests or putting best. That's up to you as the fans to decide who's the best. Now, I've watched Challenger games. I've watched of Lucid. He's an up-and-coming... He's up there with Canyon in skill. This is his first year in the LCK, and I think it's very promising that I hope Damwon Kia keeps Lucid. There's some synergy with Lucid and Showmaker. Kingen seems to be doing really well on Damwon Kia. I think Damwon Kia is way above everybody's expectations right now. They thought they would be bottom or middle, but they're far exceeding expectations.
Dependent. The Zyra games are really.
So moving
Okay, so
on,
Also going to help out with that one.
basically
Tarsus
just
not
paint you
too bad.
pictures.
In that regard, I think that Canyon as good as.
But I'm going to try something new in my drafts
and
today.
To me, in an interesting way, it's much more about.
The reason I don't do this is I use pen and paper, and I use pen and paper because I don't have... First thing is I like pen and paper. I'm old and grew up like right before the digital age boom.
If Showmaker is a top tier performance here today,
I'm almost gonna assume that kids don't even know how to use pen and paper anymore, or pencil and paper, that they do everything on the tablets. I don't know. I don't have kids.
Hasn't felt true in a long time.
No, I agree. And one of the reasons why I'm really excited for this match is
I don't have any
generals
siblings
don't
either.
often get ruffled
so
into Gen.G.
I don't know.
I don't know why, but they did it in the pre-show really beautiful.
I think Chovy was just getting ready for this. He's got a tough matchup into Showmaker.
You got to play around the strengths of these players, and I'm hoping that we're
AP jungler, even the Brad, right, who takes a lot more time to get going, even the Karthus, who did really get nerfed on the spell.
Instead of writing the
really
draft,
interesting,
I was gonna
actually
try
thinking
something
that Nautilus ban was going to be one of the first things dropped in the subsequent because of the Renata specifically. But the fact that they are willing to ban the Renata is a huge shout out to the front that Callum is in at the moment.
This may or may not work. I'm just trying something.
Tristana swap is something that we've seen a lot of. Teams are very outspoken. Peanut said it yesterday as well. We don't feel like Sejuani right now has a real counter. And jungle matchup, insanely important. And to be fair, Showmaker, I'm excited to see what you've got cooked up. Because if this is like something basic, I'll be a little disappointed. Because you know this was coming.
I think it's one of the win
second
bros.
round.
And I only say one of them because Showmaker is a Yasuo guy.
Yeah.
You know, and Kingen's a Gragas guy. And that's a tree. And this is what we saw banned a lot yesterday. Canyon, one of our resident Ivern players, a friend of the forest, if you will. And so this could put a bit of a spanner in the works for
you have to
D+,
start
because we know
thinking
how
where
weird it
red
is to
side
play
gets
into a lot of
too
these Ivern compositions, especially when it is paired up with the Tristana. Zeri going to be locked away though for aiming. And Showmaker is going to hover Syndra for a little bit, but I don't know. Are they just going to lock away the bottom?
And
lane?
I
Is it
know
just
my
gonna be very
camera
Rakan
may
here on this
kind
rotation,
of get in the way,
and
so I can
then
tell you what champion.
try to pick something weird for their solo lanes.
Could be Zeri Lulu as well. I actually think that with the form they're in right now, Kingen and Showmaker are really hard to consistently ban.
Stop and
So
let this digest in a minute, right? Gen.G banned the Vi, saying they don't. Vi is the counter to Sejuani. Got a notepad. Got these notes I put up here. I'll let you look at them for a second. So it says Vi is good into Sejuani. So one of the first bans that Gen.G take is they're banning the Vi away from Lucid. Now I showed you earlier, back on, maybe I should have took a screenshot of it and put it on Sheets so I could go back to it. Lucid is 6-1 on Vi, so they banned Vi, and also I feel like they got Vi, like they were wanting to take Sejuani first. You also have Ivern. Sejuani is good into Ivern. So this is a matchup here where this jungler is completely safe or not scared of playing into Lucid whatsoever. Epic Pen makes it where this toolbar stays up, and I don't like that. I don't understand how to. There. No.
wouldn't necessarily
Trying
mind
to figure out why
this
this
line.
toolbar's stuck. There. Taskbar. Again, they move the draft pretty fast, or a lot of you get bored, but there's a lot of matchups and things you can think of here. So it just takes a few minutes to digest it. Damwon Kia don't want Canyon Zyra that he has 4 wins on, so they're scared of his Zyra. They don't want... Everybody is scared of Chovy's Corki for some reason. I think this Nautilus is because they don't want Senna Nautilus. And Senna, the Senna thing might be more of a red side thing. Again, I'm trying to figure these things out, so I don't sit here and cheat and try to read other people's information or stuff. I used to be a fan of Summoning Insight. I don't even get the time to really listen to that anymore. But what's great is I'm working on my content, so I'm benefiting myself. It don't really do me any good to sit and listen to that. So, or I'm not watching other streams, so I'm not stealing information that I get from other things. Or I haven't watched this match today, so I'm just giving you the information as my brain sees it and figures it out.
With the priorities that we've seen, I quite like this because it forces Gen.G right now to either pick an AD carry, which is what I think you'd want to do. With the Ivern, you really want to make sure that you have 2 great carries to go with it. Tristana already is going to feel amazing, but kind of want to add to that. But that does take away your opportunity to get access to the best counters to Gnar. It's going to be the Leona instead. So
Trying to figure out why the
Zeri
Zeri Gnar is why I'm not talking for a second.
Right now does make me think that the Braum is.
I'm
definitely
guessing
gonna be on
so.
the
They
ban
picked
list here.
Leona
Given
because
that
she
playing
can
into Sejuani
easily,
Braum when you're looking
not
to
easily,
play
but
double
she's
AD
kind of a
position
counter
is
into Zeri.
not fun.
So I'm assuming
Don't
that's
want
why
No.
they
So
picked
that's a
Leona.
must-stand.
Lahins is not
I mean, that's a must
well
have, but there's a
known
lot
for
of things that they
his
probably
Leona.
want to take
That's
away
more of
from,
a barrel
Showmaker
thing.
as well. The Azir Certainly one of them, but maybe you want to ban the Yone.
So I'm
I know that,
wondering this
Trophy is-
too now is Azir a counter matchup for Tristana. So Azir must be strong into Chovy's Tristana. Now this is Showmaker's Azir. Wondering why the Renata Glask ban. Again, there's a lot of like red side only bans or picks or blue side only bans or picks. We'll get into more of this later on. Probably not like in this VOD review, but I just mean the longer we watch it, we'll figure all this out.
Pretty capable in almost any matchup ever. And so the mid lane doesn't necessarily need as much attention, but Showmaker is so much of the...
So I used to write this down and then
power for
my head kind of
do
figure it
need
out
to
on
address
paper.
it. And
Lee
that's what
Sin
they're
is
gonna
banned
start
this
with here.
week.
D+.
There's a
I
buff
think
on his
an
shield.
Ezreal Ashe ban or Kai'Sa is another one that I guess is just fine. Wanting to try and take away from sort of these hybrid bottom lanes, and I'm kind of, is it a Ziggs angle? I know, like, it's
Right
Elf's
now, I'm
day
just
off,
kind of
right?
listening to the
So
casters. I want
someone
to see
needs
what
to
their
do it.
opinion
It
was.
could be. I don't love it as much. And all
I guess there is a Zeri, so it can't really be that much of a Ziggs.
Yeah, that's that's part of it. I
So
imagine the Ezreal
Rakan,
ban comes in
Rakan
next,
into
they're also
Leona.
willing to ban the
Rakan,
Kai'Sa.
good into Leona. There's something I don't know off the top of my head, so I'll go to Lolesports.com and take a look. Leona. No, not a counter. Oh yes, 52%. Okay, Leona wins against Rakan 53% of the time. So not a counter. Trying to digest in my brain why you'd want Rakan into Leona. I guess to zone her away or be able to hop to your teammate if Leona catches you with the EQ combo or EQW combo auto and throw in autos there. I think this is the wrong rune. I go into this. I think the Zombie Ward and Ghost Poro is more valuable on the support because you sweep out the vision, but you do have to know where the ward is. If you're sweeping out and not getting anything, it don't do any good. But if you're finding the wards, which I would think at the highest level, you would almost know where they're going to ward every time. You scrim and practice so much that you're getting a free ward and you're getting 10 gold every time you sweep it out. So you're getting free vision. And that's what I harp on here and talk about is the vision game that's going on. We've been going for an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and get running into this game.
The fact that they don't ban Braum, though, is really remarkable.
So I'm guessing that Leona's somewhat good in Gnar too, because you can EQ, W, R auto. You can lock Gnar down before he turns Mega Gnar. Let's face it, Gnar's ult is very scary
Ash, you already mentioned,
when you're going into a team fight.
In isolation, but I do think she can really
But a lot of it
struggle
depends
playing
though on the
into
terrain. Are
things
you
like
against the
the
wall or
Zeri
not?
that come late game, just blow her up in seconds. Don't really give her a lot of opportunity. As
So-
the GP, yeah, that's actually, as we said earlier, my expectation
Get a
was
Kai'Sa and
that they would
Ezreal
pick Gnar and
ban.
away
Now
some of the
I've been
counters.
seeing
Not gonna be the
Ezreal
case.
mid.
So we're gonna obviously
I'm guessing
trust,
that's a Pays
GP.
ban.
That's kind of a
I think
no-brainer.
we've
And
seen Pays
that
here
could
on my
still
stream
be
and
a
pretty
chance
good on
that
Ezreal.
Shyvana, you know, gets flexed depending on
Don't
the
necessarily
counter
know
pick
why
that's
the
locked in as-
Kai'Sa. I'm guessing Kai'Sa's good in Azeri.
boy.
That would be pretty fabulous. A bit of Tarek here. We did see Beryl already play that one. Showmaker, of course. The Talia is up, and so he is going to pick it. That's going to be his choice into the Tristana. We've seen this matchup actually go pretty well for the Talia at the same time, and it is Showmaker's most played. Has about a 75% win rate on the champion as well. Has looked
The
pretty
Gangplank
So I like
is
it
a counter
in
into Gnar,
isolation
or
and
he's
what
good
you
into
wanna
Gnar
do.
later on.
The matchup is fine, but I do worry that the Sejuani
Gangplank
gonna
allows
sometimes
you a
have
lot
any
of map
impact. I think the
pressure
mid-jungle matchup is so
elsewhere
important.
besides where you're
So maybe
laning.
Alistar instead. Kellen
Or-
has had
Gangplank allows you a lot of pressure in your lane, and then you can pressure some type of other lane or objective, the dragon, void grubs.
A very big range of Alistair performance. Recently, he's been trending towards very great. So
if you started watching him in 2024, you'd think he's a pretty amazing Alistair player.
And it is actually...
Bigs. 4. 4. I can't... So I don't know if this does me any good or not. I don't even know how to use sheets as well as I should. I've done work and stuff on it, but a lot of what I was doing was like screenshots and then writing the stuff. I haven't used it for a while. There we go. So I think you just like drag this out. Well, it says match 37, so okay. Don't really need to write anything. So game 1. Okay, I need to write game 1. Been a while since I used sheets. It was 2022. I didn't use it last year. So, apologize. I look at pen and paper. Working with kids back in 2022 on a professional team, they did not want to see anything pen and paper. I'd literally take my notepads and scan them into my computer back then and send it. And they, like, for some reason, their minds can't interpret things unless it has pretty pictures on it. So, whereas, like, I'd rather just like look at names. So the Ivern might be really good. I'm not a big Ivern fan, so this draft says a lot here. When they're playing Ivern a counter into Sejuani, it says that Canyon's not scared and that Gen.G's not scared of Damwon at all. That is the second place LCK team, so this says a message to me from Gen.G. They're not scared at all. Very, very, maybe say like a greedy draft. Some style points going on in this draft. So before the game goes on here, I'm going to take a 5-minute AFK and use the restroom. Be right back. Okay. All right, we're back and we can get into this game now. Make sure my volume is where it should be. Well, of course, the volume went way down. So I don't know if that went down during the stream or not. I don't understand why my volume keeps getting dropped for no reason. So I don't know. It's like now I got to go back and hold on. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to redo this draft again because I may have to edit this out later. So let me redo this. I don't know why my volume keeps dropping down like that or not. It looks like it may not have, but I can't go back in time and look where I was talking about this draft here. So again, match 37. There's the draft. Don't know why my volume was clear down on 8 for no reason. And again, I can't go back in time and look and see if it went down or not. So, I don't know. I can't let that ruin my VOD. I can't. So, I'll go back through again one more time because I may have to edit this.
It would make a play, but it wouldn't quite be clean enough, and then Chovy would get further and further ahead. If Showmaker has a top-tier performance here today, if he can match up to Chovy, something that is, as we all know, true.
Okay, doing this draft again. Again, I took an AFK, I talked for like an hour, and then I go and look and see, uh-oh, my sound on my microphone was turned down to 70 or down to 8 for no reason. It may be where I unplugged my mic, and I don't know that. I did a 3-hour stream the other day, and then I come back and look, and my volume was clear down to like 39, and then I just completely deleted it. Now, I'm not going to do that today because I'm seeing I can go in and edit. So I will just redo this draft right here. And if I don't like it, I'll just edit stuff out.
Sometimes when they fit in on his Gragas, you got draft. I think so.
Okay, so the drafts.
That's going to be enough.
Lucid and Canyon both fantastically Sin players. But
Again, one more time. Beginning of this VOD, I talked about this draft, and I went to take a break real quick right before we got into this game, and I mean, I broke it way down and said a lot of stuff, but it may be low, so you guys don't like that and you won't watch. So I'm just going to redo this real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I'll redo the draft.
plenty of other things that they can get to. As Rumble
Here you
Nautilus
see
is
again.
taken away, of course. Lehenz's Nautilus is
No point of stopping the stream and redoing it. See, epic pen. Okay.
absolutely terrifying.
Okay, and then that's annoying too when the toolbar won't come up.
Still probably the only Nautilus that we see being viable on the permaban list.
So the way I look at this, the draft.
That's surprising, isn't it, Chronicler? Because I don't know whether Chovy's played that much.
One,
Yeah, interesting choice.
One.
The ban,
He hasn't played 20 games of Corki yet this
Two.
season. I just find it weird that it's banned.
2.
yeah, the Chorky jokes really make them.
One,
Yeah.
one,
Zyra also going to get
one,
taken away. It's interesting because Zyra doesn't
2,
feel like it's the most oppressive,
2.
but I think that it's specifically for Gen.
And it takes a moment for this information to soak into your head.
Because he is so good.
And I have the draft up here
Invade timers,
Yeah.
just getting max amounts of gold.
so we can listen while they're talking and maybe try to make sense of this.
Right, it takes a lot more time to get going. Even the Carpus did really get nerfed on this patch, and this is really interesting because I was actually thinking that that Nautilus ban was going to be one of the first things dropped in the subsequent because of the Renata.
So 1,
But the fact that they
this is the way I look at this.
Renata is a huge shout out to the form that
1,
at the moment is this should come
1.
as a surprise. This Sejuani, Tristana swap is something that we've seen a lot of. Teams are very
Now,
Peanut said it yesterday as
I
well.
said at the beginning of this that Lucid was 6-1 with bye.
Insanely important. And to be fair, Showmaker.
Now, again, let me double check my settings here. We're at 70. If I would notice if I had a second screen, I would have noticed my volume drop down, but I'm running off one monitor, so I don't know if my volume dropped down in the beginning of this VOD or not. And then you guys don't want to listen to it, so technical stuff I'm ironing out.
excited to see what you've got cooked up, because if this is like something...
Lee Sin is permanently banned this week in the LCK.
It's one of the Wind Bros. And I only say one of them because Showmaker is...
I don't understand why the Renata Glask.
And Kingan's a Gragas guy.
They don't... we talked about this before on the Sodaron stream where Gen.G has played the Rumble Ignite top, or played into the Rumble Ignite top, so they don't want...
And so
You don't want Kingan on Rumble Ignite.
for D+, because we know how weird it is to play into a lot of these Ivan compositions, especially
Two.
when it is paired up with the Tristana. Zeri's
Two.
gonna be locked away though for aiming, and Showmaker is going to hover Syndra for a little bit, but I don't know. Are they just going to lock away the bottom lane? Is it just going to be Zeri Rakan here on this rotation, and then try to pick something weird for their solo lanes?
Could be Zeri Lulu as well. I actually think that with the form they're in right now, Kingan and Showmaker are really hard to consistently ban out. So I wouldn't necessarily mind it. This isn't
Canyon has 4 wins on Zyra. Gen.G don't, or Damn One Kia don't want to see Chovy's Corki. And I think the Nautilus is because they don't want Nautilus Senna. So Gen.G pick Leona here, which I'm sure is good at locking down Zeri and Gnar, locking down Gnar with the EQ WR combo auto attacks in there. So I'm sure that Leona's good in these 2 picks here. Lehins is not so much of a Leona player, but
I mean, that's a must ban.
in this situation, I'm guessing that she's really good into Zeri and into Gnar.
Certainly one of them, but maybe you want to ban the...
I don't know why Gen.G are banning the Azir here.
And so the mid lane doesn't necessarily...
I guess the AP would be good into this team comp, into Tristana and Ivern and Leona. Now, I've kind of talked about Ivern, how I'm not a big fan of him. And I've talked about this in the beginning of the stream, where this Canyon is Lucid's protege, right? He was below him in the Challenger team on Damn One Kia, so this is the apprentice playing into the master. And so,
I guess there is a Zeri, so it can't...
so I feel like Canyon saying that he's not scared. Sejuani is a good pick into Ivern, or the AP counter jungler. I have notes right here, so I'll put it up for a minute. Again, I'm a little bit thrown off where my mic setting went down. It may have just went down when I unplugged my headset. I don't know. Because I think I unplugged my headset and plugged it back in. So it may have just reset it there, and I don't know. So I'm just going over this draft one more time in case, so I don't have to redo this and stop it all over again.
Not really be that much of a zig.
Yeah, that's that's part of it. I imagine the Ezreal ban comes in next if they're also willing to ban the Kai'Sa, unless they're happy to play.
Now, I don't know about the matchup either of
the fact that they don't ban Braum though is
where DK bans Kai'Sa and Ezreal. I don't. Is Kai'Sa a counter to Zeri?
They might look to just...
Let me look this up on Analytics. If you use op.gg, this is another good site here. Where's Kai'Sa? There's Kai'Sa. Zeri wins against Kai'Sa 49%. So yes, Kai'Sa is just statistically stronger. So they banned Kai'Sa. We've seen Pace play Ezreal, so his Ezreal's really good. Zeri counters. I use op.gg a lot, but here lately I find myself using Analytics. Or I look at both just to have two sides of a spectrum. Ezreal. Zeri wins against Ezreal 51% of the time, but we've seen Ezreal mid in the LCK Challenger. Caps just played Ezreal mid. Now it's not going to happen here, but it could be a game where Tristana got rotated mid. So maybe that's why the Ezreal let the game roll.
Here, that's something that we often see when all the other engage supports have been taken off the board. Ash, you already mentioned, I think is a strong pick in isolation, but I do think she can really struggle when playing into things like the Zeri that come late game just blow her up in seconds. Don't really
So if you're bored or whatever, it takes a little bit of time for your brain to digest all this information that the game's telling you. So that's why I spend so much time on this and try slowing you down a little bit. Gangplank is good into Gnar, especially later on, and then you also have map pressure. You can pressure your lane, and then you can also add an ult to a team fight in a different part of the map. So we've said for years that global ultimates are OP.
The Taliyah is up, and so he's going to pick it. That's going to be his choice into the Tristana. We've seen this matchup actually go pretty well for the Taliyah at the same time, and it is Showmaker's most played. Has about a 75% win rate on the champion as well. Has looked pretty good.
So I like.
I may have messed that up.
In isolation, what?
A bit of Tarek here. We did see Beryl.
So Taliyah.
Showmaker, of course.
Showmaker, he's one of the top mid laners in the world, so he's great to watch. I mean, he's always fun to watch. His name's Showmaker, after all. Brilliant name.
75% win rate on the champion as well. Has looked pretty good.
So I like it in isolation and what you want to do. The matchup is fine, but I do worry that the Sejuani is going to have a really tough time having the.
So this is how my brain kind of digests all of this information that I'm given.
Kellen has had a very big range.
Why the Alistar?
Recently, he's been trending towards very great. So I
mean, maybe Alistar's good for dealing with Ivern's brushes, and he's got some healing to help with the shielding. And so they last picked Ziggs bottom, which could be rotated mid. Tristana could go bottom, Ziggs go mid. So really, damn one, don't totally know what this draft is, but. So here's the final draft, and again, this probably does much better now that I'm doing it this, so then I show you on the slides. Now, again, Lucid is Canyon's protege. He's trained under Lucid. So I think Canyon's kind of taunting Lucid or saying, I'm much better than you because he's got the bad pick. Let's just look at Ivern. Another weird thing is I saw that he takes Glacial Augment on Ivern. So that's interesting. I was wanting to see the Sejuani. Sejuani wins 52% of the time, which is, 2 or 3% is a big number when you're talking about professional play. So maybe that's a good site for me to keep up. It seems like I can get to the information much quicker on that site than I can op.gg. There's a lot of advertisements on op.gg that just bug me. So Ziggs can push the bottom really fast, get the turret down really fast. So there's 2 global ultimates here as well. Seeing that. So I still think that overall DK should have the stronger draft here. It's just somewhere along the lines, is Gen.G gonna outplay them mechanically or style on them, some people say. There's Rakan that I was wondering why you would pick, like why they banned the Rakan. Is Rakan good in the Leona, but they picked Alistar. I guess Gen.G was thinking that they'd want Rakan in this game, which maybe would do better than into Ivern than what Alistar will. So anyways, rolling along into the game. Oh, you've got Lucid's, again, Lucid has 6 wins on Sejuani. Not Sejuani. Lucid has 6 wins on Vi. If you really wanted to see a tough match, they should have just let Lucid play Vi and not. But they did ban the Vi, so that's some real respect that Gen.G have for Lucid they're showing. Don't exactly know why the Renata Glask ban. They were thinking that Gen.G or Damwon Kia was going to take Kalista. So, anyways, beginning of game 1, going through. See, I get held up on. I thought I did like a good hour of just talking and good stuff I said, but it's probably garbage. But I don't know if my microphone messed up or not. Again, I think it might be where I unplugged my headphones that did that. Let me check. No? I don't know why my microphone sometimes decides to just go down to almost nothing all of a sudden. So I'll have to look into that. I thought maybe it's where I wheel scroll. But anyways, I'm going into the game here. Hopefully we got the technical stuff tuned out. Hey now.
Even with aiming being on Zeri, like it becomes
so this is patch 14.3. Again, Lee Sin is banned this week in the LCK.
Draft came up and from pay pass. So a little bit worried on that front.
Now I don't really like that Riot won't show the first 30, 45 seconds of the game.
Gen.G. I mean, this is. They've got the zigs for the magic damage. They've got the barrels coming out of the brushes that Canyon's going to be throwing down, and that is Tristana in the mid lane. This is a very, very scary game for D+. Let's see where they can get it done. We hop to the rim. As we have
Okay, so looking into the vision. Zeri has a sweeper lens, which is weird. Zeri has a sweeper lens. Leona has a sweeper lens. DK send 1, 2, 3, 4 guys top. So they're investing. They're worrying about Kingen getting started. Damla is. Gen.G have all 5 members here in the, what would you say this? The top river? Top side river. So they're going to get information here on Lucid. So Gen.G's investing all their time trying to figure out where Lucid's going to start. Again, sweeper lens. It's weird that the AD has a sweeper lens right here. I don't know if it was to come up and try to sweep out the ward in case they find Keen. It looks like Kingen's down here just trying to bait Gen.G. Glacial Augment on Canyon, which is something new.
got the full group up on this top side of the map. Kingen.
And so Gen.G get ward on the starting golem for Damwon Kia.
Going rogue.
And didn't I say Lahens had a sweeper, so he was there in case they thought they saw somebody and they could place a ward down, they could sweep it out. So notice how Lehens goes back here and picks up the vision ward back. He doesn't. Again, I talk about this. I think the vision's one of the most important things in the game. Gen.G start this way, where they've got 2 wards in the bottom lane. That it helps you have more pressure. You can play past this line that I talk about. So they're going to be over here across this line, shoving the waves into the enemy turret.
That you want. And Gen.G going to slink back into their jungle now.
And so DK did get a ward up here. Up here in the top side. It's in the neutral brush. The middle one. So he's can play a little bit overextended over the line. And so both teams are investing heavily in their top laners at the beginning of this game. Again, I talk about this, but I think that the Ghost Poro zombie ward, from what I saw from Barrel on the secondary, is a much better support rune, and even on the junglers. To sweep out the vision, you get 10 gold and you get an extra ward. You get a free ward. You're taking the enemy's vision out. That's how you make plays around the map. Again, let me check. Hey now, all right. Is my voice getting low? That's the next thing. Because the further I start getting into these games and then I talk lower. So, need to talk about right here. Right here. Hey now. Okay. I guess I could always just turn the volume up a little bit. But we'll go with this. Hey now, is that too loud? Okay, now I can talk a little bit lower and I don't have to talk so loud, so that's about good right there. Okay. Gonna kill my voice if I talk so loud all the time.
Man, I'm so intrigued because we've seen, like yesterday, the gangplank pick into the Gnar went very, very well.
So I assume that this bottom lane's gonna be very aggressive and be constantly applying pressure over this line.
He's gonna once again be able to find it. Because I just love that the pirate is back, man. It's just so good to have a bit of added.
Let's see what Lucid's doing here again, because why is Lucid going bottom? Trying to see if Lucid knows his jungle's warded or not.
On this top side of the map.
Just want to see if Lucid sees his jungle's warded.
Vibes right there. As we've got the full group up on this top side of the map, King and
I don't think he knows.
right now, but everyone is just seeing whether it's
So Lucid goes back.
It turns out that that wasn't what was offered today, but that's fine. Sometimes you don't get the specials that you want. And Gen.G going to slink back into their jungle now. Man, I'm so intrigued because we've seen, like yesterday, the gangplank pick into the Gnar went very, very well. Even though, you know, the Gnar
Did I say he had the sweeper too? No, he didn't have the sweeper lens. Okay. Just trying to see why he backed.
still lane relatively okay. The gangplank does just tend to have a little bit
So
more
he's got to get spotted. So Lucid gets a ward here. I think that ward would spot him over the wall. So he's got a... Lucid has a ward up just so he knows if he gets invaded on or if Canyon comes over here and goes into his jungle. So looks like he's going to path bottom, then start on the bottom red side.
be able to find it. Because I just love that the pirate is back, man. It's just so good to have a bit of added variety. You know, we saw a lot, but after just Cassante Skana every single game for like the first 4.
Now you guys should be really happy at home because you're starting to see different mid laner picks. You're not stuck in Corky Tristana every game. You got Talia here, which I do have a patch slide here of the champions that are getting nerfed, Riot says. You can just kind of quickly read through it. But Talia got a slight nerf in the jungle, so I guess she's not a jungler anymore. We see her now in the mid lane.
Weeks of the LCK.
Yeah, no,
I'm so happy.
We really have sacrificed mid lane.
And I've talked about it. I'm not a huge fan of the Ivern. Maybe Gen.G is going to change my mind after this game because it seems like the better teams know how to deal with Ivern, and he's kind of wonky, some would say, in the jungle. The one good reason for the Ivern pick is being able to run this movement speed rune. I think that's very valuable. And the only other one I see that's a jungler that you can run it on is Zyra. So Zyra and Ivern can run the movement speed rune. Doesn't affect their clear at all. As Lehens has that as well. Now, I really think the Ghost Poro ward is better here. Alistar doesn't have it. I even know where this ultimate one right here might be better, or the sudden impact to have this warding just because of the vision, but who knows? Just things I'm throwing out. But it looked very valuable when I saw KT Barrel using it and getting free vision and having superior vision around the map against T1 even.
By having a really big impact inside, and I think that's what we're going to be looking here towards as well. When you look at the DK comp in isolation, I think it's an incredible composition, right?
So right here, Kingan has this nice little ward here, so it's allowing him to pressure into Gangplank hard. He's going even right now in that picture. The thing about Ivern, like I said, I don't like is you got to make double trips, so you got to go twice back to each camp to claim it back, you know, unless you're smiting it, even though his Q allows you some different distance and stuff, but you got to basically go back twice to get your jungles claimed. So it allows somebody to come in and counter jungle you and take your farm away before you can get back. Now, Sejuani might not do it in this game, but I'm just saying that it's kind of one of Ivern's problems. I'm not putting Ivern down as a champion to play. I'm just saying some of the problems at the highest level of play, or even in solo queue.
Like, obviously, the top side is a little bit disjointed when it comes to getting full value out of the Sejuani. A little bit tough, which Nara's technically melee half the time, but realistically, it's hard to play around that, because you'll play back, you know, when Aganar is available, and then...
So it looks like... Canyon's going back to his red buff there. The little dot means that Ivern can claim his camp.
Can they find, you know, punishes on Payson lands? I think Payson lands.
So he's just watching
aside, but there was a time where they were one of the weak points.
Canyon's pathing in here.
Yeah, in a bit of trouble here. The Ignite already down. Kellen's gonna have to walk it off in his pajamas. Is Canyon?
So he's coming down to make a gank to Showmaker, and I guess he's going bottom lane because they need help because the bottom lane's extended or overextended over the line I talk about. This line that runs all the way through the middle of the map, dividing it.
And that is definitely good news if you guys wanted to bang a series.
He has to be the best.
See, I thought Canyon was going to come down into here, but he didn't. Canyon went back up to claim the camps. So I'm just watching a lot of weird movements and stuff from Canyon more than anything in this game right now. Chovy's shoved up into his lane like you would normally see. Okay, let me back this up because you got a gank going on mid lane or bottom lane. See, I thought that Canyon was gonna go bottom. Of course, he does have a movement speed rune, so he can move around a lot faster.
It doesn't end up working out, but
Canyon is a bit of a...
Lucid gets vision over here to see where Ivern is. So I think that once this goes through, DK will go, oh, Canyon's on his way down bottom now. We're a little bit late.
I'm going to let my in-game do...
Okay, Kellen's trying to sweep this out. Now notice too, Lehens doesn't have his sweeper yet, so they have extra wards. That's why they're playing the way they are. That's why I talked about it a few minutes ago, that they've got these 2 wards here, so it's going to allow them to play more aggressive early. Because they can ward this brush and ward a brush back over here. Whereas normally you got the sweeper, and then you got 1 ward, then you got to be more strategic with it, like placing it up here or here.
Do the talking rather than doing...
So Lehen's Ignite is down. Be nice if they've got the Ghost Poro or Zombie Ward here. Get a free ward when they sweep that out. Oh wait, they can't sweep that yet. So maybe that's some of the reason why they don't use it, is the earlier part of the game. Again, we're looking at what are 2 of the top teams in the world, or viewed as.
This isn't talking. This is a whole lot of action.
Here comes Canyon.
Headbutted back. That was a...
So Kellen lost his flash. I don't know if they'll dive him or not. They do have shields.
Gorgeous seismic shove, and the bouncing bomb avoided by the cow. Kellen, good use of the walk strategy, and is able to get himself out of there.
So Lucid comes up here and gets another Scryer's Bloom to get vision. So a little bit late on, I think, knowing where Canyon is, but you want to take those. You want to take those away from the enemy. So he's doing what you should be doing.
There still has to use the flash, and pays.
Showmaker uses his teleport. His teleport is down.
This is already really scary.
nicely done there by Payne.
Canyon gets the Scuttle Crab at the Dragon. Okay, Chovy's using his teleport now. Alright. What does this picture say?
There with the bomb, ensuring that
Looks like Showmaker's getting caught out here.
Yep, another shove is going to come on through.
Might lose a flash.
Close that gap. No
Nope.
rocks on the ground.
that's a big win. Showmaker just used his TP. Yeah, now that's
Another thing too is I'm starting to see why the teams value the Void Grubs. Again, I caught on it the last VOD, or maybe even the VOD before, where it's to get your top lane rolling.
that's a really good punish there from Chovy. And yeah, Showmaker will get a bit of a trade back, but
So Gen.G have some really good warding down in here. It'll allow the bottom lane to play safe, so Canyon's going back and he's not going to have to worry about them.
cooldowns, and even though Canyon is a little bit early because Chovy's TPing in, he doesn't get the the auto while Canyon found his route. Immediately afterwards, Chovy jumps in. Showmaker steps up a little bit too far, and now he's forced to another immediate back. He's trying to get full health back because he needs to catch his wave. Kellen.
Here comes Kellen up top to get a gank on Keen. Now he should survive because he has Flash and the orange peels to get him out of any type of CC.
Volatility here.
I don't think he doesn't have any vision, so he's not aware. But if you top lane enough, you kind of know when you're going to get ganked or not. So here comes Kellen up here. Interesting to see how Gen.G does. Okay, so never mind. I notice here too that Lehens is going up here. So they must be aware that damn one Kia was going to do this. They do scrim and play against each other, so they're pretty well aware of what's going to go on. It's not just random on a stage match.
I do love that. That's what they need. Canyon's on his way, though.
Yeah, it was Satchel charged out of the posture, and now he's looking for...
It is important to shut this gangplank down so he doesn't do ridiculous damage at about 30 minutes into the game.
Pirate as the barrels come in. There's the headbutt back. Pulverize is good, and Keen, this is going to be a tough one. Not able to quite find it. Is
So they get Keen's flash. DK, that is, gets Keen's flash. His teleports down. Pays his teleports down. His ignite is down. Kellen's ignite is down. Showmaker's flat, or Showmaker's teleport is down.
Canyon there's the flash out.
This also shows the power of Ivern's his W, whatever it's called, the bushes, because then you need a ward to see your enemy. So that's very difficult to deal with, and then you need wards to see, so you can like hide a teammate in the bush, keeping them from dying, basically.
Kingen still wants it, but he won't quite get there. The brushes are set up, and in fact, he just creates a forest up here. Still gets the flash. Good news for D+ regardless.
Successful roam. but
So
the timing for
nothing really went on there, except, and Lehen's was kind of late and really didn't do anything either, but at least he gets a
might have been enough.
control ward down there. Let me make sure, yeah. So Lehen's comes up here to put a control ward just to make sure Keen will be safe.
For a moment, if he flashes
And then Keen's gonna teleport in.
might have been enough, but if it backfires, you're down your flash.
Ooh, the anti-buffer.
Really nicely done there by
Chovy's a little bit ahead in CS.
And like Ivan has his shield available again, you are indeed.
Okay, so Lehen's also shows middle lane.
Flash Zenith Blade.
I thought maybe he would recall back, but no, he went bottom lane, which is good, through the river. So
Tested over and over again.
Lehen's didn't waste his time there. He made a couple plays and put a ward up top. And this is about the time for the Void Grubs. I'm guessing one reason why that control ward's sitting there, that Lucid's taking out.
Kind of in the middle between whether it was pushing towards King or not, but he's going to go mega, and I imagine
Right here.
for a slow push back into him. Without the flash available, Gangplank, even with his CC cleanse, is really susceptible, so Keen really can't stand to be up too much. So again, huge credit to Kellen for that roam. And then in mid, because of the earlier play from Kanan,
Lehen's is back bottom.
is about a wave behind, but
The bottom lane for DK hasn't really got to
looking good in absorbing the early pressure from Gen.G.
shove much at all.
They need more
They're
than
just
that.
playing very safe.
If they're actually able to get that S6
Trying to stay even in farm.
stronger. Kellen's roams though do mean that he's pretty substantially far behind on experience.
Yep.
Again, this is one of the problems too about Ivern that I talk about, is you can't even take the Void Grubs or the Dragon with Ivern until you have until you have Daisy. So that brings in some problems.
Although Canyon is now just going to head down towards the bottom side, collect his level 6 so that Daisy can help him out.
Okay, so he finally gets level 6, so Canyon should be able to start the Dragon, even though they're sitting on a ward. Well, and also Lehen's is up top.
And now Lucid gets over the wall, but it's not going to keep him alive. And first blood goes to Lehen's. And in the
So
meantime,
DK get the Void Grubs and Gen.G take the Dragon.
Like a book there.
I would rather have the Dragons in that situation. Not like every situation.
yeah.
Lonely no more.
I'm just saying, if
Two crucial points, and
I had to pick one, I would rather have the Dragons early
he is out
than the Void Grubs. But there's reasons to take the Void Grubs.
the lane, or
If you got the Void Grubs for Gnar, for example, it's going to help
now. Reinforcements arrive.
get Gnar ahead of Gangplank.
This time the
So it's going to get him ahead. Now later on in the game, Gangplank's going to get much stronger and be really hard for Gnar to 1v1 or handle. But Void Grubs seems like it allows like a 10 or 15 minute
really hard to keep him down.
window where a matchup where the laner would lose, or a bad matchup would stay even or maybe even ahead. So I see that's why teams are getting the Void Grubs and value it over the Dragons, even though at the end of the day, if I had to pick one, I would rather pick the Dragon. But that's not every time. I see why there's some reasons, like if you're playing
Can get another one. So far,
Renekton into a bad matchup, it'll help Renekton stay even or maybe even get ahead like by 20 minutes in the game or pre 20 minutes of the game.
but Keen's health bar still suffered. You can can see that the CS margin is only extended, and this aggression is still there, wanting to collect that first plate up here towards the top side.
Keen's ult is down.
Says on the tin as far as early lane control.
So, pretty even game right now. Gen.G have a dragon. DK got the Void Grubs.
Has gone over to Gen.G.
You do see Gnar is ahead of Gangplank here by like
Farming alone
12 or
inside lane.
22, 23
Get all that
CS.
money so that he can have those items and carry in the late game. I mean, it's bread and butter on the bottom.
As Kingan's sitting on a ward.
Oh yeah.
Have to see whether aiming's actually going to be able to have the same impact into a very difficult team composition to play into, right? Especially if you're a low range AD carry. I do not.
Though there is one Void Grub up.
And in fact, Envy's playing in the next match, not this.
And so the mid lane matchup here, Chovy's just kind of,
Good segue there.
Yeah,
Really,
thank
you.
you.
Have to build up the hype.
I know, it's all...
I don't know, they're kind of staying even. Looks like Chovy's winning by like 15 CS or so. He looks like he's over the line, the overextension line, more than what Showmaker is, but it's pretty neutral going back and forth as you see Canyon up here getting Kingan was on a ward.
Or at least enough to take down the Gnar, so nicely done.
Something that's noteworthy, we haven't talked about this yet, is the fact that not
Pretty funny seeing like two teams fight over one Void Grub.
was able to get two earlier. Lahan
Lahens makes a roam up top
fight Kingan.
Lehens is doing his I'm everywhere.
as Kellen's down here
This is
bottom.
something that he actually pioneered on Leona. I think it was
I'm
last
guessing
year, where he was
Lahens is recalling now to come back down to bottom lane.
This time Pays has teleport, he zigs, very happy to be alone in a
I was talking, so I don't know exactly why Lahens went top, but I guess it's because he was sitting on that ward. And again, I assume Leona would be good to lock down Gnar. Maybe this is an example right here. Nope, Lahens missed. But you lock down Gnar before he turns Mega Gnar, and then there's nothing he can really do. He's a goner before he turns Mega Gnar and slams you with his ult.
Because he was about to hit Mega, and Lahan's being there alone is not enough.
Ivern's staying fairly even with Sejuani, even though that's a bad matchup.
Nice here for DK, opportunity to get themselves a
This
play.
may be some of the reason why we keep seeing Lahens go top a lot.
Back in favor of them. Looking at the itemization as well, Lucid does not have his first item done. Obviously a very, very cheap one. Same here for Pays, who one of the big benefits of Ziggs is that, you know, even pre-first item you're feeling great, but now you can just basically sit here underneath this turret forever and be completely fine. But it does mean aiming finds a small gold lead off of the back of that plate, as Canyon is going to be taking this grub.
So Canyon has to use his ult here just to take the one Void Grub, which
This next Drake is huge here.
I don't know if he had it up already or he just used it there. That was kind of
There's no counter
funny.
match, at least for right now. I think it will be available around the time. We'll see if Showmaker is able to
So
make his impact known. If you can, you know, isolate a target, blow them up. Even though
Gen.G say, we want that one Void Grub.
the angle here.
And the dragon should be back up in 30 seconds.
Lucid wasn't contested on Grubs.
Maybe that was part of the reasoning there of why Canyon started on that Void Grub. He was hoping that Gen.G was already planning for the next dragon, and that which looks like they may pay for it here because they lost to Scuttle Crab. So that might have been a little bit of a greedy play where they should have just went bottom.
In front of him, still he's got shields for days, and Showmaker will be taken down. I don't know how it worked, but it worked. And Gen.G will grab their second kill of the game, and this may not be all they're going to get as well.
Okay, so I don't know. Canyon lost his flash. So maybe Gen.G shouldn't have went for that Void Grub because that allowed DK to go down here and get the Scuttle Crab, which in return may cost the dragon for Gen.G right here. Kellen's Ignite is down, ult is down, Showmaker's flash is down, so they lost Showmaker's ult. Okay.
comes in, Blastcone is taken, and the cow is left by the wayside. Pace is going to pick up that kill. And Gen.G, it's a wash here as far as the kills are concerned.
Oh, Canyon taking a page out of Kellen's book.
Right?
So,
Oh, man.
I was gonna say I don't know why they're going for Dragon. Of course, one thing is Daisy. I guess they need. That's the one thing about Ivern is you got to have Daisy before you can take the Dragon or Baron.
That was a really pivotal moment right there. If they get the kill on Canyon, that snowballs into the Dragon. Instead, it's a disaster. Chovy arrives. Showmaker ends up going down, and crucially, Kellen doesn't even get out. Him and Lucid on the...
Okay, so see Canyon recalling here. Just looking at the warding. See Sejuani's probably going to end up there. He's at the Krugs right now. Alistar's going mid.
Blastcone. Just a second too early.
So nobody got the Dragon yet.
Building further ahead, and I want to again reiterate, even going for Canyon here, it's a bit of a tough timing.
So this may have cost Gen.G again, where they went for that one Void Grub where they should have just went bottom.
Which I think affects Chovy's literally on top of him. But if Chovy's there, I don't
And
think
straight up just took the Dragon.
yeah.
Because Canyon needed his ult to take the Void Grub.
And even then, I think it might
Or it may have been where Gen.G was trying to bully Damwon and start a
we
fight.
haven't really talked about yet is the double global.
But regardless,
That you take,
Damwon got the Scuttle Crab. So now maybe Canyon was waiting for his ultimate to come up right here. That was one thing.
There's a lot of stuff
Gotta have the ult for the Dragon or Baron
like that,
or Void
not
Grubs.
that one. So puts them in an awkward position. Not the end of the world just yet, but definitely a big win for Gen.G.
Yep, and these dragons are starting to stack up as well. Oh, is it Earth, Wind, and Fire? That would be a beautiful way to start off our Saturday show.
So Chovy takes off from laning for a second, comes over here and helps take the Dragon down.
Of course, it's Orcs' day off, so he's probably, off doing things and not paying attention. And this is what happens. This is what happens. It's fine. He was also.
So it's 14 minutes in the game, and
It's just a lot of
Damwon Kia here taking the Rift Herald. So it looks like we got a trade of the Dragon for the Rift Herald.
It's not a surprise. And
Thanks to Canyon taking the Void. Well, it would have responded either way, right?
Do we leave censor by saying K-word,
There was nothing that
which I think is great.
Gen.G could have done to stop that. They would have needed Daisy, maybe Gangplank could have thrown an ult in or something and stole it.
we need to be even nicer
But
to our team.
right now, Gen.G 1,000 ahead. They got 2 dragons, so they're slowly getting ahead here.
I know, with
Summoner's
the
Rift.
punchy thing as
Yeah.
well that he does.
Summoner's Rift is saying, chill out, man.
Uh-huh.
Give it a rest.
Oh, Showmaker gonna come and catch this wave towards bottom side. Chovy just seeing what he can find.
Yeah.
So maybe Chovy, I'm sure, got lucky right here. Maybe he was going to get 2-man dove by Showmaker and Kellen. But he comes over here and finds the Squire's Bloom that's going to find Kellen.
Yeah, this
He's
is
gonna
what,
find a count.
what we were talking about earlier. Which
Lahins is over here putting in wardings, or putting in deep vision into DK's topside jungle. And now I talk about this. You want your bottom laner to be mid lane after the laning phase, or normally after the first turret is down, the first T1 turret. Here we see none. It looks like, yeah, none of the turrets are down, so don't know exactly why the bottom laners are swapping, but it's to play safe. That's where you should be.
in general.
If you're an AD player and you say, I win my lane all the time and I don't understand why I lose the game, it's not fair. Because after you get that first turret, you need to be in the middle lane so you can play safe. It allows your jungler to take care of you. It allows your support to take care of you.
Is the slowly starting to pull further and further ahead when it comes to the CS. Going to be up about 3 waves once this one is taken.
See Ivern collecting his camps here where the
really big maps that you ever
Canyon.
inside. It's going to be an issue that's easy for DK to fix because again, I think that they want to look for a numbers advantage with the Talia, try and isolate a target, blow them up, and then you create.
Which damn one just got vision on Canyon and Chovy.
Shove almost connecting there is now Chovy gonna get interrupted. Not able to buffer over that wall, and there goes even through the redemption. The Tristan
Let me replay this here.
even more.
Try and isolate a target, blow them
It's
up.
Alistar, Sejuani, and Talia. They just get outnumbered. Lehens is middle with Pays. Zeri's there.
Can create space for aiming.
Seismic shove almost connecting there is now Chovy gonna get interrupted.
I see Lehens, or I see Zeri coming down and Pays coming down.
Even through the redemption, the Tristana are now lucid. Wants even more. Daisy not able to find Bristle and Sejuani, and the seismic shove is flat.
Okay, so that costs Ivern's ult and not ult but flash.
Big kill there.
Chovy didn't use his flash.
Not going to be enough. No objective can be taken off.
Didn't really cost DK anything.
Damage though towards the bot side turret.
Sejuani's summoner spell, or
So much
Sejuani's flash is down. Sejuani's ult is down.
Talia
Talia's ult is down.
there. The problem is, I don't think they're actually going to be. This is what we talked about earlier. Again,
The siege defense is pretty silly. As Canyon's going to come down, teleport coming in as well. But
Chovy
seismic shove, Arctic Assault
teleporting in.
as Kellen gets the welcome, but Showmaker is in so much trouble. Chovy going to be able to finish him off, and now the damage is gone. And Lehens
Well,
obviously is.
I would say one thing, and I didn't look, and I'm not going to rewind, but I'm guessing Chovy didn't have the Kraken Slayer until he went back there. I could be wrong. I was looking at other things. I'm not going to rewind. So 15 minutes, one item. Showmaker's on his first item. Sejuani's on first item. Nar's on his first item. So Gangplank is having a rough time right now. It's because of those Void Grubs. So he's 60 CS behind. It's not the only reason why. Lehens is having a good game.
Chovy going to answer back immediately, but Kingan, he's teleported in. Lehens not a whole lot of direction to go, and he is going to be taken down as well.
It's like Lehens is going to be a goner.
Between the two, Chovy's revenge, important.
unfortunately for DK though, they invest a lot of people towards this, which means that Keen, who's
So
very
now
strong,
Keen's just solo taking a turret down up top. He's
Keen gets to actually play a little
getting
bit
close to his
different.
Trinity Force.
Gonna be able to just parlay his barrels to his heart's extent. Not gonna get the turret as the TP from Showmaker does come in. I think good on Keen to back off there also just prior to his Triforce spike. Couple of key picks being found there as we go back all the way to this one. And I love this from DK. I think this is how they need to play. Really nicely done there. With Tristana, I feel like you can feel like you have so much heat, which you do. If he flashes there, it would be fine, but instead tries to get the W off. And then they're loose to that flash, bit unfortunate. If he gets one more auto off on Canyon, they just kill him up front earlier. And then here, like
Didn't really pay attention to the Gnar teleport.
You know, earlier you had the ultimate from Ziggs. Now you have the ultimate coming.
Okay, so Gnar teleports bottom.
His teleports are very low, so Chovy can just jump in, stomp on a target, get a kill.
Okay, so
This is, I'd argue, still pretty
they
fair
traded
here for
a teleport for a kill here, or a takedown. I don't like saying that word.
well, right? Ziggs left alone.
Now Gnar has his Warden's Mail.
Really, the more I think about it, outside of Canyon,
Not really any big advantages. Looks like Gangplank's got his Trinity Force now.
control and so much tools to help you.
It's
punish
just an
aggro.
everything control composition.
No, it is,
Gen.G.
because-
That's why it looked so incredibly impossible to get to.
Ziggs sitting on 2 items to Zeri's on 1.5.
They're shoving while you don't have.
Leona's got her War Mogs now.
Not enough mana barrage.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you make one bad read on a
So
fight,
pretty even game here, except Gen.G's on 2 dragons.
so I think DK have been doing
With another dragon coming up in 20 seconds. I'm guessing the teams
Can they fight the fight that they're looking
getting ready for this dragon fight.
Like this DK comp scales insanely well.
That's what they should be doing anyways.
Right? Like you have You have,
Huh?
yeah, I mean,
What?
yeah, well, you have
And you know that Gen.G have
When the Nexus.
Gangplank here, so he's always going to be shoving a lane, and he can throw his he can throw his ult in,
okay, well,
which allows him to lane, throw some damage in, and then if he has to, he'll teleport. And here Keen's teleporting, and so Showmaker just got baited.
Kingen gonna jump into the brush here. Doesn't have a lot of knob,
Oh, but Keen got interrupted, so Showmaker did his job interrupting Keen right here.
And Showmaker are just doing battle. Seismic shove gets the pirate over the wall.
A lot of stuff going on.
Can they find the team fight though elsewhere? And the answer looks like absolutely not, as Kellen gonna be taken down, turned into a stake as Kingen. He gets to Meganar, but it's way too late. It's all over.
that's the problem with these Meganar compositions, and there I think you're seeing the problem for DK. If you don't find an early mid-game
As the caster's just saying, Gnar is very strong, but he's also has a disadvantage because you gotta build up his rage bar for his ultimate and be Mega Gnar. And so playing against Leona, you're just getting locked down every time when you're mini Gnar, and then you burst him down and there's nothing you can really do. So he's having a rough time. So they catch out Keen, he's doesn't have a flash. I see Canyon just picked up his Mikhail's Crucible too. So now Ivern's on his second item.
You know, maybe there's a bit of a gray area. As we take another look at this fight here, and I think you're really seeing the issue. It's so hard to engage on this composition.
I don't really see any like Telestrator stuff to pull out.
Goes into Lucid, doesn't end up mattering, but they don't have Meganar.
I see that Gen.G had some wards here in the Dragon Pit. They another thing, DK really didn't have any vision around the Dragon Pit there.
We didn't get a look as to how this happened.
And they had their champions there, but I mean wards.
I'm gonna have to stop this. Probably could have seismic shoved the other direction.
That's what, yeah, that definitely.
But I think he realized that he messed up very quickly. It started
This is such a big catch though. Like this actually, I think, shoving the top at least.
All right, back into the game. What's going on? So it looks like Canyon's just collecting his camps that he's claiming them the second time. So Ivern's staying even with Sejuani.
Great combination. Like land the root caller and then all of a sudden Leona doesn't have to hit a Zenith Blade and you just, it's basically just point and click CC.
Sejuani just got their Mikhail's Crucible, Lucid. Showmaker's got his second item now.
So it's pretty nutty. Okay, there's the glacial prison. That's gonna get
Leona got caught out. Well, he did have Flash, but so they lose Flash.
Kellen taking so much damage, has to flash to get out of the solar flare. And Gen.G, in the end, I think it's relatively even as far as the exchange is concerned. As now Chovy flashes the headbutt, pulverized. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes down.
Okay, so Flash uses his ult.
In amongst it all, as the Buster Shot gets Showmaker out of there. Lucid in so much trouble, he's gonna get thrown around like a rag.
Don't really think I need to replay through that and see.
Okay, finally Lehens is gonna go down. And D+, they get some control.
The Mega Gnar, you can't really play
That's the problem.
against Gnar when you're around walls because you're going to get knocked into them and get a nasty CC.
Who cares? Baron is gonna get taken. We're gonna see
So Gen.G start up the Baron, and then who's teleporting in? Showmaker's teleporting the mid lane.
These two Yordles, the demolition Yordles, pretty good. Even at taking down a Baron is now Showmaker wanting to get.
Looked like somebody was teleporting mid lane.
As Keen is gonna get knocked over, but this is just Operation Escape
Yeah,
from
go.
Gen.G, and they might just take themselves a prehistoric Yordle with them on their way out. Keen gonna be the sacrificial pirate, and he's gonna say "arr," and then it's gonna be absolutely fine as Gen.G walk away with 4 Barons intact.
Gen.G get the Baron.
Okay, they're clinging on to this game, Atlas. They're not letting go. Here we see the problem. Like, obviously, this is Lehens, so not the ideal.
Okay, Gangplank is going. I'll just look at the other stuff going on the map that I would look at while you all are watching this. Gangplank is going bottom here. His teleport is down. His ultimate is down. His flash is down. Okay. Well, that's just like the replay.
Target, and you see just don't have enough damage to kill him in what is all bear CC cooldown.
It's a lot of choke point opted into when it's a Ziggs.
Daisy's doing a lot of work.
Yeah, but I understand them. Like, again, I think they need to play for these.
So here comes Gnar.
Type of catches. Then Chovy goes full psycho, ends up, you know, still being fine because again, they have so much innate safety. You can play this aggressive.
So they needed DK needed Gnar in there a little bit earlier. They were playing in a good spot to fight with Gnar because there's a lot of walls you could knock people up against. So going to live.
Like, just keeps lumbering ahead, further and further, slow and steady.
Yeah, and it's every single trade that is just a bit in favor of Gen.G or a lot, right? It's
So Gen.G gets the Scuttle Crab here.
completely doomed, and it's still feeling a little bit like that.
Which, like I say, you get the Scuttle Crab on an objective, you pretty much claim it, right? Like,
That's a huge free item, power spike, but
pretty much yours.
from Hayes, the barrels that have to be
You know what you're doing.
DK are gonna have to find a monster fight, or they just let this go.
And so Gen.G's kind of playing the game, like I say, there's a formula where you get the 4 dragons and you get a Baron and you close out the game and you win in 25-30 minutes. But you also need to have 100 CS per 10 minutes or 10 CS per minute. There's a lot of flashes and stuff down right here. So the Gangplank zones away Lucid and Kingen. Mega Gnar's about to go down, so he hit a few people there with the Mega Gnar. But either way, Gen.G got the Elder, or not the Elder, they got the Dragon Soul. This may even almost be the game right here. So there's nothing really.
Showmaker used his wall, but actually had to go all the way around. So yeah, he got the flick on Chovy, but that alone, not enough.
Unfortunately, Canyon, you can't. Well, okay, he's got the little green things. I was gonna say you can't go in there and really counter jungle, right? Because you got to come back to the camps.
So what happens here is like they get, and they might, but they're not the end of.
They still exist. The scaling is not stopped yet.
But I don't think this is looking good here. And I think in game number 2 we're going to see something entirely different from DK. I think they're gonna this was the basic game, you know. This was
Trying to think what DK have to do to come back into this game right now. They're 7k gold behind, have Dragon Soul, so it's like they're gonna have to play for another 20 minutes in the game if they want to win and get the Elder Dragon, get a Baron. They got to play another 20 minutes because you need to be on like 5 items, 6 items. So then you're both equal. The teams, that is.
He's flashing for it. You know that he's going to look for it, and he does so. Showmaker going to have to answer in kind. That is going to be in a turret falling down.
So I'm looking at just the items right now.
Gen.G look to move towards the mid lane now.
Kingan's on 2 items, Lucid's on 2 items, Showmaker's behind, Chovy's on 3.5 items, Zeri's on 3 items, Ziggs is on 3 items,
No, not. It's very doomed.
3.5 items, Ivern's on 3 items, Gangplank's on 3 items. So DK can't, unless they flank them or get some type of crazy Mega Gnar ult off. I don't think in a straight up 1 versus 1 team fight right now, damn one Kia can beat Gen.G.
Don't give them Nash. Okay? Then you just hold on to that. And at some point, Gen.G's going to decide to play Elder.
Lehens even has a Warden's Mail.
He one-taps everyone.
So they catch out, Lehens catches out Alistar. Now that probably won't do too much. They do get him with Daisy. That Daisy knockup helped a lot. So there's just too much damage. The Ziggs ult, the Tristana area damage. That's pretty nasty comp to get caught up in that Gen.G have. Ziggs ulted and the Tristana's E and Gangplank's barrels and ultimate. There's a lot of area damage that Gen.G have. So this may be a really good team comp they're running. Gangplank, Ivern, Tristana, Ziggs, and Leona. So Gen.G show us that you can play Ivern at the highest level and have a top jungler play a counter jungler into you and still win. Now, maybe Damwon Kia, there's some problems with like Lucid being a little new to the LCK, so he got tricked into some things, and Kellen looks like maybe he got tricked into some things. I don't really think it was Kellen though. It would probably be Lucid just not exactly knowing where to go in this game, and Canyon maybe just where he's a veteran having a few tricks that he's never showed Lucid along the way that he pulled out this game. So there's game 1 of game 2. Looking at the stats.
Yeah, and you can see the damage graph is just, it's a bigger version on Gen.G's side. But D+ did try their best to keep themselves even throughout this game, as you can see in that goal graph. But it's just edging ever so slightly towards Gen.G as the game goes on. And we knew that as far as the scale...
So hopefully my microphone didn't go down. I don't know why that did that to me. May have to edit some stuff out. The beginning. I didn't really lose much. I liked my rant I was going on, but I feel like if people watch the video for the first time and the microphone's off, they're not going to go forward and watch more into it, hoping that it gets resolved. So, but I talk a lot, so I'm sure I give plenty of content information out. So I'm going to take a break for maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes here while the LCK resets. Eat something. I think it sounded like the dog needed to go out. We've been up for 2 hours and 18 minutes now, so I'm allowed a break, right? If you're new to the Sodaron channel, if I'm streaming and you see this little thing here, it's not really a big deal. I put it up. And that allows you, when you're watching it in VOD form, you can quickly go through it. And you will see where I come back. And then it allows me, when I edit it on YouTube, I can cut it out. So again, I'll give you a heads up. When I take a break, I'll put this little thing here, and it means I'll be back soon. Right now, I'm looking at probably a 15, 20-minute break. My dog's got to go outside. I got to go outside, but inside. But you know what I mean by that. And then eat some food or something. So I will be back. Needs to be no rush or hurry here, right? We're not going to rush to the top of League of Legends. I still don't know who Tyler 1 is. Please tell me, if you tell me, chat, I don't know who Tyler 1 is. I don't know why I would ever watch Tyler 1. I don't know. Hey now. Alright, we're back here at the Soda stream. So let me make sure my mic's, it looks like it's alright. It's where it should be. Again, the worst spot it could do this, but The first hour, I know I was talking and it looked like my microphone setting dropped down to like 9 volume. I don't know why it would do that. I don't think it's user error. And so the last time I tried to do a VOD, I went 3 hours into that and realized the microphone dropped and had to scrap it and redo it all over again. So I don't think it's as bad this time, but I know that people get turned off if like the volume's low. They're not going to sit and watch it through and wait to see if the volume magically turns up to where it should be or not. So some of the technical problems we're ironing out here on the Sodaron stream. So what happened was we were in game 1 of the Saturday showdown of the LCK. And now we're going into game 2. So again, I'm not trying to do like a 5-hour stream today. I've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. That's good. I did, hopefully, that microphone setting didn't drop in the beginning because there was some good banter and talk that was entertaining, but who knows? May get edited out. Who knows? But I can't worry about it. So here we are going into game 2.
Slightly towards Gen.G as the game goes on, and we knew that as far as the
80 carry out of Ivern, but the brushes.
I like to watch and see what the casters say.
A huge amount of resources early, but when we did see deep.
Was a controlled game there. It felt very much in the hands of Gen.G, and although D+ kept it close multiple times, they eventually pull away.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is Gen.G, and D+ is currently in second place, but Gen.G kind of feel far and beyond better than any team we have here in the region, and they kind of proved it here. Very clean play, very clean draft, great stuff from Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the draft a little bit more. The one sticking point, I think, for me in this draft that I wasn't 100% sold on for Gen.G was the Ziggs, because it was a matchup where you weren't going to be able to get plates. He was kind of pushed out when they were focusing topside. He was, having to ult wave.
Wolf says that Ziggs was questionable.
But when we did see
what about the Ivern?
Plays around the map and kind of fail at them, then he was able to get the mid turret. He was able to get some value. And you don't get a ton of value when you're not running traditional double 80.
That's a pretty cool coat he has.
Still are super frustrating to play against because you don't know where the Ziggs is tossing his Qs. His ult comes from an unexpected angle. It's hard to punish him or engage on him. So it gives him some added safety and some longevity in those fights as well.
Yeah,
well, Ziggs helped the area damage with Tristana and Gangplank, the barrels,
with all the brushes and all the zone control that Ziggs has as well.
And then getting locked down by Leona.
Yeah, and that is exactly what.
And the Alistar really didn't do anything to shove people out.
Pressure on the top side of the map to give Gen.G the lead.
Yeah, Keen.
Again, let me make sure.
Drops the cannon barrage. They turn this one really quick. I mean, it's just, unfortunately, Lehens is everywhere, man. He played such a great game on this Leona. He spent so much time topside to make sure the one pressure point for D+ couldn't actually really push that advantage further.
Yeah, and you see they're getting Infernal Drake as well, and then they go for this fight here. They really try to punish Canyon, and they throw everything into this guy, but immediately Chovy comes over, the flash.
What'd they do to Canyon?
Infernal Drake as well, and then
they missed his ult, missed the ult on Canyon.
And they throw everything into this guy, but immediately Chovy comes over, the flash.
Lehens flashed.
And eventually, DK got caught multiple times just trying to, I think, overextend, really try to isolate one guy. But again, it's so difficult to isolate an Ivern and actually kill him. Aiming got there a little bit late, wasn't part of the actual damage that was being done to the Ivern, so Canyon just kind of brushes it off, and then they turn the fight.
Because Ziggs has teleport and he's super self-sufficient, he's not going to win the matchup, he's not going to get a ton of gold, but he can just sit there and clear waves bottom side and then TP back if he needs to, and that allows Lehens to roam a ton. So Lehens was kind of like the real jungler, because Ivern, he's not going to be able to turn that.
There was a lot of Lehens roaming around in that game.
You can defend, you can actually peel for that engage. Super good game.
And so I don't know if that made Kellen have to counter roam. And they needed him bottom into the matchup into Ziggs.
Do your job being left alone there. Now our second highlight here, 25 minutes, it was the Chem Soul fight, and we really wanted to toggle the vision here, and what was happening?
Yeah, so it's, again, it's very difficult, it's very suffocating. They're behind, they have to try to fight for this one because Chemtech Soul is really good for this comp. They don't have a lot of vision, and unfortunately for DK, the engage is very kind of broken up here. The front line goes in, aiming, he's waiting, okay, I'm gonna go for my moment, He doesn't until after the front line dies. Unfortunately, it's very disjointed. Showmaker's not really able to layer damage either as he goes in a bit late himself. And, you know, how are you going to break into that brush? It's just so difficult.
I mean, there's a Leona, you go into Zeri, you might just get instantly stunned.
Chovy gets a takedown there.
That's the most...
Okay, well, I just wanted to see what...
You do want to be that cleanup. And the fear is I just get instantly blown up. I can't carry the fight. And often is there...
I've heard enough. Okay, on to game 2.
There that Gen.G had. I think he definitely should have...
I guess they pick a player of the game. Player of the game was Canyon.
Plays, but Canyon just really showcasing the amazing...
So Canyon just won player of the game into Ivern. Or I mean into Sejuani, the counter matchup.
Even the tankiness that he provides, the Daisy there as well. And he
I guess I need Ivern for solo queue.
The highest kill participation on the team.
Here, Canyon.
I'm very curious about the position.
Lucid's even. Notice how Lucid is even with Canyon. So Lucid is a very good jungler.
Chovy voters as well. He did do some boom boom damage, Tegon.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so on to game number 2.
Couple of different things. I really
So again, I do my thing, how I try to digest this draft here. One. That just means this is the first draft phase. Maybe it should be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, Sejuani ult.
But they gotta swap it up in the drop. I really like the Tristana ban. You know, I think you either have to first pick it.
This is the Sejuani counter here. Vi. Also, Lucid is 6-1 with Vi, which he works really well with Showmaker.
This is not Lucid's best pick. At least pick picks that go with it. Get Yone,
we
get
saw yesterday. Yeah,
I think the Nautilus ban is because of, well, A, Lehens is really good on Nautilus, but B, they're worrying about getting Senna.
We know that he can play this. I mean, he pioneered just picking Yasuo with Sejuani compositions to make that one work as well.
1,
This is something that they can certainly do. I want to see
1,
just
1.
Like 2, 3
2,
on side, just pick Gragas
2.
Yasuo and say we're just
Now you guys should be really happy here if you're...
That's not gonna happen. If anything, it will be Gragas Yone.
You've seen Chovy on either Corki or Tristana for 3 months now, so you finally get Chovy on Azir, which they're taking away from Showmaker.
Oh, Canyon Italy.
Showmaker's Azir is one of the best in the world. Take away LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc does well into Azir or even.
I think Showmaker knows.
But you're seeing
Can always lose.
Chovy on a non-AD champion finally.
And I also want to highlight that Nidalee Azir is not.
Again,
That doesn't get people.
Lee Sin is banned this week in the LCK. I think we're going to see him again though this coming week. We'll have more VOD reviews this week. I'm finally getting the end of last week done today, which the LCK starts today.
Like you say, I don't think it's the
Here in a few
I
hours.
love Yone. I think Yone is a great pick here. It works well with the Sejuani. It might get banned away. Otherwise, that's a melee character that Showmaker loves. I'm not gonna. I just not.
So I guess Talia is okay into... You also got an AP jungler here. I guess Talia is good into Azir, or at least even. So let's look here at analytics. Talia mid. What was it into? Azir. 55%. Talia wins against Azir 53% of the time. Head check on my Okay. Yeah, nothing major there. Okay, so I was talking about Azir. Talia wins against Azir 53% of the time, so...
I think Talia is a really strong pick. Even
53% win rate over Azir.
has a lot of value.
So...
It's just that again, and after that match even more so.
Damn one Kia are scared of Chovy, or this is a mismatch up.
I think Gen.G
Check one other little thing here. Okay. I think it gets turned down where I wheel scroll, but I don't truly know. Let's see the Sejuani into Italy matchup. So. It says Sejuani wins 52% of the time in Italy. Oh no, Italy wins against Sejuani 50.9, so 51% of it. So Italy good into... So Italy is also good into Sejuani. Okay.
Wave states are too good. I think their macro is too good, as it's going to be not the Gnar blind, which we've seen a lot of, and you can even go Gnar blind and then protect it.
No, you could pick Leona.
Also do that, yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. I guess they just want to make sure.
Back to the draft. So
even like I want to again
2,
back to that.
4.
It could have been if Canyon and Lahens didn't save him.
4.
Because that was one of the big gambits
2.
taken by DK in the last game that didn't end up working out.
The 2 means it's the second round of the ban.
Look towards to play into that. We'll see what it ends up being.
I mean, there are a few options that King can go towards. We already mentioned things like the Gragas, but the Aatrox certainly another one.
I feel like, yeah, Gragas, I don't think into Cassandra is going to feel that great, because Gragas' one weakness is if he's playing into tanks and he goes AP, his damage I don't think is really sufficient. So I imagine that, like,
the just Jax Sejuani angle.
Yeah, Jax, but they might ban.
Now what do you play into Zeri?
Then it's probably going to be
Look
Jax.
like the Ziggs.
And also, as you're saying, Jax Sejuani, Jax is a acceptable matchup into the Cassandra.
Rakan.
See the Rakan ban, and then with Leona also taken away.
Is Kellen a known Rakan player?
The problem is that I think that Gen.G
Let me ask another thing. Is Rakan good into Senna? Yes. This tells me that Senna wins against Rakan 51% of the time. I was gonna say this tells me maybe the Rakan, because they're going to draft Senna.
Angle here for DK, and if you're anticipating a Lulu, then you just save counter pick and then Lahens can go with the Crank.
Blitzcrank.
There you go. Ban the Crank.
Yeah, good
That's
call.
the one way to do it. I'm writing it down. Crank. There he goes. All right, Pays, what are we picking?
Ezreal.
So damn one does not want Leona or Blitzcrank in this comp.
It's not inspiring. However, it does certainly seem well up there on the tier list. There's a Kai'Sa window here as well. No, it's too much magic damage. I think it might just be Ezreal.
Guessing Blitzcrank and Leona are good into Talia. We saw that last game, and Zeri.
And so Yumi.
So there's the Senna.
It's
4,
fine. So does Kingen pick
5. Just showing you how my brain views this.
And like, it's fine into Cassante, and Kingen was one of our best Orns.
Maybe, wait, could they unironically
You go Lulu.
just,
No, you go Lulu Orn.
they could actually just pick Tahm Kench Orn though, and then just play Zeri Tahm Kench.
Okay, that's
Lulu. Is Lulu good into Senna? Lulu wins the, yes. So Lulu is a Senna counter.
I think Lulu makes.
Yeah, the Lulu was definitely gonna happen.
I really
I'm
like.
guessing that's why the Lulu.
More engaged. Just Sejuani alone can be a little bit tough in some situations. Kingen's having a smile.
I'm a fan of Lulu. I used to play a lot of her mid lane or bottom. There was a time where you could play Lulu anywhere, even jungle.
I don't know whether he can eat
Thinking about pulling out Lulu here in the jungle.
That's
You want
much
topside
better.
fire, topside
that's-
power.
Yeah.
Renekton. So this will be one of those games again where they're trying to get the Void Grubs and accelerate Renekton. Let me see. I don't know off the top of my head. They got the Ornn, which they banned the Nautilus. I think they prefer. I think Gen.G prefer the Nautilus over the Ornn, which I actually prefer the Ornn over the Nautilus. What was it? Renekton. Is he the counter to Cassante? Seems to do good. But they'll... Renekton wins against Cassante 55% of the time. Maybe I need to start playing top lane because I love playing Renekton. So they, I assume, picked the Ornn because of Nautilus being banned. So this will also be a game where I'm assuming Damwon Kia try to accelerate the top lane by that's not the picture I wanted. I'm guessing they're going to try to accelerate the top lane with the Void Grubs. Getting both of them. So they'll try to go top and... Okay, so game 2. Game 2.
Would have loved the Ornn. I think the Ornn both gives you more engaged. The one downside is that you do become somewhat lacking in damage, and as good as Talia is, I don't feel like she has quite as much damage as something like an Azir would in late game 5.
Well, let's get into the game, guys. Maybe there'll be a third game, and Damwon Kia will beat Gen.G in this game.
Is going to be huge for D+, so Renekton being
Again, I don't know. I do know that Gen.G had a live viewing party in LA, so I feel like this was a very important match for them to win. Notice how this is weird too, because he didn't take a HP pot, Canyon, and he took a sweeper lens. And we see Lahen's recalling here, so he must have tried to come down in here. He doesn't, yeah, he tried to, I was going to say he didn't have sweeper lens, so he must have put some ward down. Again, we don't know what time is it. I don't know. Lulu has a sweeper lens. So what I noticed the last game is Gen.G's bottom lane has a lot better vision, much better vision early, allowing them to shove and play very aggressive. Whereas Damwon's bottom lane only had one ward, the other one was a sweeper, so that's not going to allow you to play as aggressively or safe, or maybe allow you to get dove because you need the extra ward. So
today. And we are on the Gen.G side as far as the our position and the caster desk is concerned, but D+ almost blew the roof off Like, the man.
I see aiming is also recalling. It's 47 seconds into the game.
Fans out in force. It's absolutely fantastic.
At
to see.
least just give us a game, DK.
I mean, do we have to ask? Do we have to?
Don't know why he recalled.
DK.
Did he have a sweeper lens? Yeah, I didn't think he did. I don't know why Kellen aiming recalled.
Man, fans out in force. It's absolutely fantastic.
At
to see.
least just give us a game, DK.
I mean, do we have to ask? Do we have to?
So there's no information on,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
which I don't think in this matchup, Gen.G don't need to go over and really
Yeah, I think they have
get early vision or invest in getting the early vision because
go all the way.
the way Canyon plays Nidalee, he has a skin on Nidalee. Everyone says he's the best Nidalee player in the world. He's played Nidalee out of meta, so he is very confident in his pick. And Nidalee can get in and out of the jungle very safely, so he will be trying to get vision later on in the game, around 3 minutes or so.
Coming into this game, what I want to see.
So their DK spot out the first ward that Gen.G had in the bottom lane. Lucid starts on his blue side this time. Keen is down here trying to put some type of vision or get, I guess, to figure out where Sejuani is. So to find out where are they starting. So maybe Keen will have a very rough time here in the beginning, and so Canyon might be playing up top a lot. Also because of this Senna Ornn lane, like it'll just play safe, but I don't think it'll ever shove super hard or win the lane. It's just kind of there to play even.
Differently for DK is the top side control that they're able to get. Lucid's impact specific.
Wards. I don't see the zombie ward, Ghost Poro stuff. Okay.
Specifically, because I think that's been a consistent issue for him as good as he's been.
Kingan has demolished, so they're gonna try to really play topside aggressive. But I do notice that, so they'll be playing topside very aggressive. That
How strong our ganks are.
getting the void grubs
Well,
didn't work for him last game.
aiming needs to sync
I
with-
harp on this and preach on it, how there's a formula to winning League of Legends where you get to 4 dragons and you get the soul within the first 20-25 minutes. You get a Baron and you can pretty much close the game out. Now, you do need to get, in a perfect world, 10 CS per minute, which adds up to 100 CS. So at 10 minutes, you should have 100 CS. At 20 minutes, you should have 200 CS. At 15 minutes, divide it in half, you should have 150 CS, etc. 30 minutes,
you know, gets the
300.
Yeah,
Yeah, 21 and
The-
6.
okay, but
The Nidalee should farm faster than the
you can just do this.
Sejuani, and we don't know really what's going on in this AP jungle meta because in the LCK we saw it go away. Don't know if it has anything to do with Graves being buffed and Lee Sin being buffed, and maybe that's why the AP meta's dying, and then we'll start seeing Lee Sin and Graves here really soon.
It's actually just a fact.
Or the AP junglers still seem strong. They haven't been nerfed yet.
Discourse when it comes to
Riot saying they're gonna nerf him. It looks like Kingan's gonna get a solo kill here.
Block Keen's approach here. As you can see, 5-1, the Shuriman battle feeling pretty croc-sided. Sort of demonstration of that.
As that's going on, I'm watching the junglers where they are. I'm kind of a jungle stream, so...
Should be able to answer.
also
Oh, nope, Canyon's gonna go back up here to top.
begin with him playing a couple of games.
And Lucid's gonna come up here and get some type of vision on Canyon.
You know, in spring this year, at the beginning, it was like, oh, King, and then at some point, like, oh,
Okay.
And I think it's because Canyon's gonna try to get the Scuttle Crab up here, because again, you don't want the... You want to prevent
Pretty impressive as well.
Yeah.
Damwolf from getting the Void Grubs in this game, because it'll just be a really difficult time for the Renekton and the Cassante matchup for Keen. Lucid got the Scuttle Crab here. I'd say that, again,
And 17 to 27.
Damwon Key is putting all their eggs in the Void Grub basket.
should be relatively even. King did get a couple of really good trades, but
Canyon's got his Black Torch already, which is one of the stronger reasons why the AP junglers were doing so well, because it has a buff or a dot that helps clear the jungle very quickly.
this is the we've seen Renekton do this exact thing, you know, EN, press W.
Chovy's teleport is down.
Yeah, that's rough.
Looks like Canyon might be going up top to make a play right now.
We saw in last game that isn't going to be an issue now.
Showmaker's teleport's down.
Got cannon is and then made enemy take turret shot. That's
Yeah.
way better, isn't it, than missed cannon?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lucid comes up here and gets the Scryer's Bloom. Looking for Canyon, basically. I think this will allow... I think Kingan will back off.
Anyway, as I was saying, is Keen.
Either way, there's a ward right here.
Fun top lane matchup. You know, that's, I kind of want to highlight that.
I think we're just excited about it not being Skarner anymore.
Yeah, this will probably get.
Showmaker has to back already. He's out of mana. He already used his teleport, but it's looking like he has to back already.
By the end of it, though,
Chovy's on full mana.
couple of creeps too many. Also, to back off for a little.
Here comes Lucid coming into mid lane to make a play.
Does have to get away. That's first
And Canyon was right there at the right time as well.
King in, I think.
At the same time, Kingan's teleporting top.
They do fighting.
By the end of it, though.
So Chovy's not really overextended. Again, I preach on this line. There's a line where you split the map in half. And this side is blue side. And this side is red side. So if red goes over here, if you don't have a flash, a friend, or some type of ward, you shouldn't be over there. Or you're going to die. If you're a solo queue player, you need to be aware of this and just play on your side of the map.
King in, I think, missed a couple of creeps too.
Also, I didn't mention, this also proves to me that when Showmaker went back, he got the sweeper lens. So that's going to allow him more pressure up top. They want this Void Grub, they want this. Showmaker's a high level player, so he can afford to get rid of some of his vision. And this is, I'm guessing, investing to help get Kingan going. So here's some more investment. There's 3 sweeper lens right now. I think the reasoning for this is to allow help pressure for Kingan top to clear out vision. Also, Chovy's going to just play aggressive anyways, so Chovy's always going to be down here anyways. So Chovy's always going to be overextended. So the reasoning, I guess Showmaker's saying, like, I don't really need vision in my lane because I'm just getting shoved so hard aggressively by Chovy that he's going to be overextended anyways. And that's the thing with Chovy, is he plays so aggressive that he's just constantly being asked to be ganked. But he wins the trades. Right there he messed up. So he used his flash. Chovy, that is. His teleport is down. It looks like he's going to get taken down right here.
Get away is that's first blood, and nothing Canyon can do about it. Doesn't find the spear, but even if he did, that would have been
Nidalee's burst damage, so she needs time to fight and kiting.
I don't think they both had to flash. One of the flashes would have been enough.
Not burst damage, poke damage. Gotta land some spears on people before you go in.
Showmaker, they need to step up if you want to beat Gen.G, and that is a really big win. That topside getting ahead right from the get-go, getting a kill after TP is already down. Really, really important. And I want to go back to the previous game because
trying to figure out what these little dots, red dots are here.
With how that game was going was like in 95% of cases gonna win.
Yeah.
But a lot of the plays were relatively.
Canyon was clearing out vision at that camp to make sure there wasn't a ward. Normally Showmaker has that camp warded, but I'm guessing again Showmaker got a sweeper lens to help Kingan, and they know that that camp's going to be clear anyways, so and so that's why Gen.G are going for this Void Grubs here. They know the snowball up top with Renekton, so they have to prevent.
Might have just been a big goof.
Sneaky Canyon.
That's big though. Free grubs is quite
Now,
nice when you have
Damn one could have started a fight bottom, even though Showmaker's teleport is down and Kingan's teleport are down, so yeah, I guess that's more reason to do the Void Grub there, because Damn one Key is not going to be able to answer bottom. 'Cause you should be getting the dragon 5 minutes off. 5 minutes in the game, you should be trying to get the dragon off the map. It almost be into like halfway between the next dragon spawn. And Showmaker says that he likes to play fast and get home as quick as possible, so you'd think he wanted to play the fastest game. But I don't think that damn one can match up. Like in football, they call it like man on man. That's how these teams are playing, man on man. So Pays loses his flash. No, okay, what did that cost? Cost the Cassante ult. Didn't cost flash. Kingan's flash was down. His teleport's down. There'll probably be a team fight coming for Dragon soon, so that's why I'm marking all of this. Sante's ult, Nidalee's ult is down. I'm just joking. The ult comes right back up.
So that's going to be a beautiful dive.
Really big wins there for Gen.G. I actually think Lucid also tried to...
Lucid, with Kellen's help right here, is trying to take some farm away from Nidalee. Lehens is teleporting bottom. I would say that Gen.G are about ready to... Well, here we go. Damn one started it up first, the dragon. Trying to figure out why Gen.G aren't taking the dragon here. I guess they really are that worried about the Renekton, so they're not even attempting to take the dragon here, even though maybe Canyon should have been going down towards the dragon instead right here.
We're looking at a situation where the gold is even. Another chance for
So Gen.G trade a wolf camp and a blue buff for the dragon right here. Maybe the blue buff is more important to Gen.G as a team for Canyon and his Nidalee on his world Nidalee skin than... Oh, okay, the red things are traps now that I think about it from Nidalee. So Nidalee allows you extra vision. You notice how Canyon has vision over here now of Lucid. So that's one thing I need to realize about Nidalee that I don't even think about is she adds extra vision. So she's definitely a champ that I would want. Or like, because I preach about vision, I worked with GAM in 2022 and did jungle scouting, or jungle like route analytical scouting. They basically scout every move every team makes. And then the vision. Which the vision to me is the most important thing. I talk about it, how I played Warcraft 2 25 years ago and learned from the best player in the world that, or not, he wasn't the best player in the world, but probably the best player on the server who could 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 people. He was so good that the scouting is the most important thing in a Fog of War game. So if you need to learn to get better in League of Legends solo queue and you're losing, start taking more time into learning vision and worrying about vision and making plays around the map with vision and the summoner spells being down or being up or like catching somebody out with vision and playing around the summoner spells if the time's down or up, like if somebody's flash is down, planning to make a gank on them. And so Gen.G are trying to prevent this Void Grub again. They get the Scuttle Crab. Dragon's not up for 3 minutes. Canyon goes back to get his Leandri's Torment. I guess you don't need boots first on Nidalee because used to see take sword boots first, but now they're taking Leandri's first. I guess because of the Black Torch and Nidalee has a lot of movement speed. Okay, so they lose Lehen's flash. And this is just a dive. I don't think there's really anything strategic. Lehens gets his Sunfire Aegis. Shovy's ult.
and just trying to
Showmaker has his flash up.
look as exciting as the rest of
I'm sure the broadcast will go back and show that replay of the bottom dive, but it was just a dive.
Whole lot going on. Lucid,
Maybe trying to prevent the Gen.G from going to the Void Grubs, which are live right now, which we see
Yeah.
Lucid also coming up here. There's nothing I think damn what Key can do about this. Notice the power of the Void Grubs, that Renekton should be winning this matchup, but he's behind. 86 CS to 109 CS.
And right now, I don't think Gen or DK rather are really getting the type of lead that they'd be ideally looking for. They have plenty of time.
Battle of the former teammates here is aiming, throwing some cues towards
Zeri's on her first
a
item.
little bit late. Still turret is
Ornn's pretty powerful. He's on a Sunfire Aegis already.
He was silently farming.
Keen's on his on whatever the Frost Gauntlet. Okay, here's the dive. It's just a three-man versus two-man dive. Canyon was busy farming, so there's nothing he could really do.
Bit of deja vu coming on in here. The glacial prison comes down. It's Pays is going to suffer the cost this time as Lucid capable of.
So this play costs Sejuani's ult, Zeri's ult, Lulu's ult.
And this time, Aiming gets the kill.
So the dragon's up in 30 seconds.
Mid-game looking a whole lot better. The main question is, can they also turn it into a second?
And
That would be huge.
damn well claim the Scuttle Crab.
Go towards a fun dragon, please. Oaks, pay attention.
Yep.
We would really like this.
We know that he's out. I mean, it was his fiance's birthday.
So I feel like statistically your chances are much higher to win an objective if you have the Scuttle Crab vision over.
Well, then we'll just accept that.
Yep. Just need to. His Spirit's gonna connect.
Also, reading from what I said, Nidalee has a higher win rate into Sejuani, so Sejuani can poke,
And he is gonna do exactly
or
that.
Nidalee can poke Sejuani out. So that's basically what Canyon just did there, is poke
Pick on Keen.
Sejuani out.
Well, they're gonna go for it. Extendo beam. He's
And
going
then he has vision here.
get himself back.
There's a plague on top, but
Comes in.
There's like, no.
They just say,
I feel
well,
like Damwash should be down here trying to get the dragon
he's
from
going to pick up the minion wave.
Gen.G,
Yeah, try and get as many plates as possible as Aiming and Keen.
who just teleported mid. Chovy teleported mid lane.
Pick as well. Look at that.
And Kingan teleporting bottom lane? Yeah. Kingan teleported bottom lane to save that turret.
But it's fine.
Yeah. And
And now Keen is teleporting top into the Zeri matchup.
even though he walks,
So I guess
things are absolutely fine. And Kingen uses that teleport to get down.
Keen is very confident to play in the Zeri.
It's been the case for quite some time in this game.
So there's kind of a mismatch up here. I don't know how the Ornn would do into Renekton right now.
Yeah, it's
Looks like Chovy is coming bottom though, so
when it comes to Chemtech, by the way.
it's a good call on Gen.G because
Banana and Italy on the other.
Oh, the primal
it's a mismatch up. Kingan's having a bad game already. He's kind of slowly getting shut down now.
They
The
were like, no, we're not
numbers tell you different.
topside instead, which will give them the prio necessary to make a play.
I think this is because of their inflated numbers because of the Senna Ornn.
Because one of the issues that Gen.G do have.
So DK do get the Rift Herald here, which should allow him to shove this top lane.
Necessary levels in case of lands.
Get the
and
turret.
Rich enough stacks in case of pace.
Yeah,
So
they'll-
I think this is like the next 10 to 15 minutes are where DK have as relatively fed Zeri, a lot of explosive power, and don't be mistaken, if Kingen joins a fight, he will
See Lehens, or no, Pace,
do something.
roaming up top lane.
Again, don't let Gen.G
Or maybe he's just putting a ward down.
No. And I think Gen.G are probably going to be looking
Ornn is mid. Again, mid game, you want your bottom laner, or in this
and things like that, but a lot of it
instance here where we've got the Ornn and Senna, where I really like Senna because it allows a support to play actual tank or whatever,
and we'll
that
see
she
where
can
that lands. And
play AD with support items. I really like that. I would like to try that in solo queue.
relentlessly, as that Warmog is going to be
I'm sure this is a really bad matchup for Kingan because he's behind and
Kingen should invest in Warm as well.
Chovy's sitting on one item already.
He's going to be the one up.
Kingan does have his executioner calling. Pace just gets caught out, and Asena's not really going to do anything. Burns the cleanse and the flash.
Glittleland slows him down. Kellen is just looking for more. The Emperor's Divide tide comes down though. The Sun Disc came
Nothing Chovy can do there. He's just trying to do max damage. Take advantage of his passives.
He's now hiding in the brush.
Turret.
Looking for Canyon, looking for that window. Lucid's going to come in. There's the Weaver's Wall. And of course, Canyon's the one that they want. The pounce over the wall is going to be pretty nice there. So not going to be able to find too much still.
So again, the numbers look skewed where it looks like DK have a huge lead, but the gold's almost, it's 600 gold.
I don't know whether you'll take this one as now Keen going to be chasing after.
I feel like a lot of people look at the takedowns and then they think the team with the takedowns is really far ahead, but that's some of the, what I mean. A lot of people, I think, look at these numbers here, so it looks like this team is winning, when really you look here and it's close.
Are showing us why the Senna and really most Senna comps have really dropped in prior pretty sharply. Is if you do lose control of the game,
Nothing Canyon can do or Chovy, so they just have to let Senna go.
which makes it all the more.
Yeah, Jovi's spot.
Trying to fast forward.
Perhaps that was a bet.
Okay.
The experience didn't go as far as warning the young player that perhaps that was
So
a bet.
dead even now.
Please don't go in there and then.
No man, I'll be fine.
So it's back into Showmaker lane and into Chovy, which it looks like Showmaker's not having a fun time.
It just looks very similar to the last
We've
play.
had a lot of these deja vu
It
moments.
looks like Sejuani's having a good game,
Gonna be throwing in
but Canyon's actually further ahead.
The thing that Gen.G that keeps Gen.G very relevant when
167 CS to 119 CS.
pick up a bunch of waves toward top side.
Sejuani's sitting on the Rift Herald, which they haven't used yet.
Casante is one of the most farmed Casantes I've seen in
Yeah,
a really
no,
long
it's
time. And
not-
we know that they
Looks like maybe they're going to mid lane now to, because they caught out Keen, to go middle and use the Rift Herald.
Completely bananas onto aiming here. He gets over the wall, and now Keen has to deal with Lucid coming in with the fadeaway ulti. And that is
So Keen burns his flash there, and they get a takedown on Keen.
It's a good call to kill. I think
just get rid of
him. Take him down. Because that's
Canyon is down here in the bottom, I'm sure, taking Sejuani's farm. That's what he's going to have to do, is just over time out farm
like that to be.
Sejuani, which I'm sure Nidalee will. She takes a lot of work to play.
And a really big pick there for DK, the timing of which is also great when
She just gets in and out of camp so fast and across the map, and then adds vision and heals and pokes.
and I believe Canyon has
She is one of the best junglers.
So it looks like DK, they're in
Glad to see her back in meta.
a bit frustrated.
Just let it go, that's fine.
Drake, and so they'll let it go. They'll now look to grab some extra standing gold.
So Sejuani's taking Warmogs,
individual Drake, you're not really gonna care too much.
aiming, sitting on 2 items already.
Oh, the Herald coming down as well. This Saner will be big, and I love this. When you're playing a composition like this that is looking to generate as much advantages in mid-game as possible, the gold is it's less.
So did Gen.G get the dragon? Yeah. Gen.G has 2 dragons and Damwon has 1 dragon.
Time getting bullied.
Again, I really value the dragons,
Probably slowly getting
and I'll use the telestrator here and
to the point of stacks kicking, where Lahens is going to start.
look at all this vision that Gen.G have.
But the map control, I think, is the big part. All these turrets falling is huge. Now all they need is that mid lane turret.
Yep, Lahens hitting that 2-item point like you were talking about there. Only 1 kill for Gen.G so far. But
You can read into that all you want.
Very, very relevant in this game.
This is look how small the gold lead is.
Yeah.
When
And
it's 6-1.
this is not the same scaling as the last game. I think they keep scaling.
Showmaker trying to get a control ward out here. I thought he was going to get pounced on.
Still scaling, I think.
Dragon's up in 4 minutes. It's almost time for Baron.
You're not going to let it go,
No, I'm not. I thought it was very...
Looking at the CS numbers here, that's something to look at. You want to be at 200 CS at 20 minutes. Well, Kingen is behind.
Side teleport in.
This is what I was talking about with the AP junglers, that one of the reasons you play them is you keep up with the laners here. You should have 200 CS right now. Maybe 201. He's there. Canyon is almost there. The Chovy farm kind of makes up for it, and this gets distributed to Senna. I don't really understand all of this in the distributing, because the Ornn won't keep up with. Like they mix the bottom too, so But that's above the 200 CS or close to. Well, that's close to it right there. So there's your 200 CS. And so Damwon is just slowly getting behind.
Well, they are very committed to trying to take down this turret, but you can see the wave clear pretty good for D+.
But when you play the AP jungler, you're turning your jungle into an actual laner that can keep up in the farm.
That's where Gen.G is looking towards, to the point where the DK have no range, effectively. Like when you're most
Yes, that is.
Yeah, it's not a lot of range.
It's not. So
Paze's flash is about to come up. Good thing he didn't use it there. I don't think it would have saved him. Gen.G make a crazy play there catching Kingen out. Kingen used his ult, he didn't use his flash.
Canyon almost just dying as the Rams being thrown around willy-nilly, and D+ I think should still
Keen just kind of comes mid here because he has his wave shoved up this far already, so he comes down here to kind of relieve some pressure.
Unfortunately, too many of the big damage dealers on Gen.G are still alive, but it's going to be the mid lane turret going down, and man, Kellen with that
The
redemption,
blue buff seems really important on Canyon's Nidalee.
that would have actually been Nash's.
Keen's back here clearing out vision behind this fight.
Realized the moment he got skated on that he was just
Maybe Keen should have went mid there instead because he pathed up the top.
of the map.
He was pathing up this way and then decided to come back down here and see where he turned. Maybe if he just went directly there, that could have been something that Gen.G could have made, because it looks like Canyon just got the red buff from Sejuani. So that's another thing that just went down. Canyon went down here and stole the red buff from Lucid and then put a control ward down. It's time to take the Baron pretty much.
This is the aiming game that we kind of wanted to see in game number 1, right? A lot more relevant. Playing it into this composition, though, so much easier.
Yeah,
you mentioned like being completely out.
Well, I mean, you're playing in the Ornn Senna, so it's gonna make the bottom laner look, the AD look really good or look ahead.
It's also, it's going to be hard to play out, but you do make up for it.
I don't know who can win this fight.
Still playing.
Showmaker has TP as well. They can-
There's the wall.
Looks like Keen's gonna get taken down here.
Let's see. The all-out going to be used onto the
There's no reason for the rest of the Gen.G or the rest of the Gen.G team come down here to save them. They don't have enough time. So that's just Gen.G putting all their pressure mid here. They got a teleport flank coming behind from Showmaker. So aiming takes down Ornn. Paze had his cleanse and flash up, but it looks like it didn't really do anything right here. So this may be Baron for Damwon. Well, unless Canyon can make some crazy play in here with Chovy, which wouldn't surprise me. You got a 2 versus 5. You got Keen's teleports back up. So there's a crazy play, and Chovy must have had Zonya's that I didn't pay attention to.
And he takes down the Zeri. Chovy almost falling for it as the spear will take down one. And Kellen, oh man.
So
He just takes that Dawning Shadow from downtown.
most teams would have just allowed that, but Gen.G, that was Chovy and Canyon, I guess, showing why they are the best, or they get paid so much. So they just made a crazy play that you shouldn't make.
There it goes now, as all 5 are in the area. They need to get loose.
And looks like Gen.G really turned the momentum around to their side. Most sports games have momentum. They're momentum based, even golf.
Absolutely wasn't. And DK, they realize they're not going to be able to do it here.
Which this weekend is the Scottish, or the Scottish. This is the Open, which is my favorite golf tournament. Here I gotta sacrifice that to work and stream and do VOD reviews for you all out there in the Sodaron channel.
The double TP to come in here, but you do see they actually have a tough time. Chovy just gets off without any issue. If he maybe has to flash the
I don't know why they're showing this one. I'd rather see the Baron play they just made. Dragon is live.
There's a ram coming in as well. Speaking of
I don't know if I need to break down the vision or not.
Canyon looking for him though. The wild growth. He's going to keep the Lulu alive. Actually buys a lot of time here for D+. Showmaker.
I didn't pay attention that Chovy had his Zhonya's, like, which I think this, I showed in my brand video. I went Zhonya's second on brand. I wouldn't have won the game if I didn't take Zhonya's because I was so far ahead that the enemy team would just target my brand, and then it's easy for them to win a fight because it seemed like my laners were pretty bad, so I just take his Zhonya's and then that solved most of the problem. This is what I wanted to see. You never see somebody just confidently go into like a 4-man 4 versus 1 like that, but Chovy, that's Chovy. I always thought Faker was never got intimidated, but Chovy's like the only player I've seen come in that would lane into Faker and not care that he's laning into Faker and have enough confidence to not even get phased or intimidated or bullied. And then it's like the first season when he's on Griffin, he's bullying Faker in lane. Now he's doesn't make some of the best decisions all the time. That could have been a really bad play. It cost the game. But the Dragon was just taken.
The gold, it's not enough by itself, but I do feel like we've turned the corner, Atlas and DK. Now we're gonna have to find Miracle Team Fight if they do want to beat Gen.G here. And is this gonna be the 4th out of 14?
Yeah.
Where 0 is added?
We have to remember
Pace gets a ward down in the enemy jungle as Lucid and Aiming are working together, and Kellen just to get the jungle camps for Lucid. Again, Canyon's really shutting down Sejuani here. It's 250 CS to 155. And it's just getting to where Lucid can't even get jungle camps.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Very, very cool. There is it's just great how that kind of works. The honor, not really that important.
He wasn't involved in this.
Oh,
no.
Speaking of
Keen's down here shoving the bottom lane.
They're not really going to find too much.
And his teleport is up, so that's what he should be doing. Baron's up in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
That really says all that you need to know about the game state, and it's going to feel very reminiscent of game number 1.
I talk about this. I like this ward spot. Just if you don't know where to ward, one in the middle of the mid lane's good.
Being a big one, but Lucid is also himself in some dangerous territory. As the banana
See the power of Ornn already. I talk about, I think his passive's worth about 10k extra gold by the end of a long game. Got some teleport plays coming in here. I don't know if there's anything to really go back or tell us straight. Just Kingen making a teleport play.
And now we're getting to the point where like the heals from Canyon, the heals from Pace.
I think that was Chovy's teleport for Kingen's teleport. And Lehin's just teleported mid lane too. I really think Unsealed Spellbook is OP'd. I'd like to see a team that runs 5 of them and making crazy teleport plays around the map and stealing stuff with Smite.
Yeah, still no. The one man that could help.
I think outside the box.
I'll be commentating with him tomorrow though, so I'll try and make sure that he just does his bit.
We did this in game number 1. We're bringing it back. DK, how do you win?
How do win?
How do win? Get
kill old Gen.G.
Yeah, okay, well,
and
I'm trying
their
to.
next.
I know you know that I'm trying to formulate a bit more of a coherent.
Look at all this vision that
yes, you do.
Gen.G have.
Round 2.
This is how I view the game. This is how much of the map that Gen.G owned, and literally at this point in the game, Dan Wonk Kia own about this much. As you see that Lucid was clear over here, which was unsafe. He's having a hard time just getting his own camp. He gave it over to aiming.
Next one, execute Chovy.
Really, I think at that point, Lucid needed.
Damage yet
No, I won't.
to be able to fight back. Maybe
I don't think the extra farm's really going to help aiming. I think
I don't think we're gonna
Lucid needs it at that point.
Infinity Edge for aiming. He's insanely strong.
Another, like I said, you got to keep these even, really.
Available. I think normally you play this comp out like pseudo pick comp, right? You find one target and then you blow them up. As Showmaker did finish his Crypt Bloom, is still a full item behind.
You're trying to be. You should be about three, or you should be on 300 CS right now. Chovy is already ahead of that. Canyon is almost there.
Stopwatch.
That's like 250 CS between both of them. The Showmaker's behind.
So insanely hard. Atlas, like,
Aiming's there, but I don't think it's really going to do much. Some of that farm needs to be like on this item that Sejuani's trying to get so he doesn't get bursted down, or Showmaker with his Zhonya's.
Aiming, like you said, has 4 items.
And so Gen.G's down here getting the Dragon Soul, and this is just Gen.G. They just slowly choke you out because they supposedly have the best mechanical players in the world. Again, I don't rank players, and they're sure looking like it.
Onto Lucid and Kel and DK still kind of holding their ground, but Gen.G are unrelenting. Showmaker taking so much damage, Dawning Shadow over everyone, and it's a bloodbath. It's decimation.
So this should allow Gen.G to take the Baron, or I guess just straight up go in the game right here. I don't think that Shirelia's is going to help finish this game. Canyon, just Zhonya's, just to kind of show how awesome he is. So I guess that's it for this match 37 of the Sodaron stream. League of Legends LOL Esports LCK VOD review of, well, it's the Showdown match. The LCK Showdown match.
Aiming and Lahan's having a bit of a hug there as well. Of course, former teammates on KT. There are a lot of former teammates between these two squads, of course. But really good to see that camaraderie.
It's so telling that in a game number 2, a lot of what we wanted was...
Okay, let's see. Let's see what the casters say, and I'm gonna make my little...
Spirit Visage, but he didn't even really need it because the burst damage of the
I wanted to see the end game.
Just nothing for Cassante or Ornn.
Yep, well, for the first...
Wanted to see the end game stats, but I guess it's not gonna show me.
It was, I think, 2-0 and 3. A lot closer, a lot more clear focus on what D+ wanted.
I want that for my thumbnail.
To do, but Gen.G find a way.
Like Gen.G is very difficult. DK, they started off really well, but they weren't able to put the nail in the coffin. One big mistake around the Baron, and the game just immediately went to Gen.G.
And even though we did see that pick onto Chovy in mid, for the most part, there wasn't really that much synergy with the Taliyah and the Sejuani. So let's talk about the draft, because this is, I think, the biggest issue for D+ in this series, is just not having the greatest reads on draft.
Well, I said what I said about it. You guys can judge about my analysis or not, if I'm professional or
I
not.
think they kind of forgot that one was still up. And yes, they did punish it, but where the gold went for D+ was...
Kingen had a very bad game.
All into the Zeri. They really only had one power play.
Sejuani is good into, or Nidalee is good into Sejuani, which Canyon is the best Nidalee professionally. Doesn't mean if you're a pro, you're the best player in the world. Look at,
They've still got that Ornn that's also farming.
I can't even think of Appa.
Apdo. Different ways to win, whereas for D+ it was just...
There's probably solo queue players out there that are better, that play whenever they want, like Sodaron. Better than the pro players. They just don't sit and play it every day like they should. If they did, they would be.
Back to the aiming side of things, they got the gold, but they couldn't win the team fights.
And you saw the amount of armor that was being stacked by the Cassante and the Ornn in this game. We saw Keen was at 310 armor by the time some of those later game team fights were happening. So the one guy that had to pop off was just being countered by only armor. Like eventually he was building towards a Spirit Visage, but he didn't even really need it because the burst damage of the Taliyah and the Sejuani is just nothing for Cassante or Ornn.
Yep, well, for the first 14 minutes, Gaming got a lot of the focus there on the bottom side of the map. Lucid was, I think, 2-0 and 3. And that's where the focus of our first highlight is, as D+ came in, clear game plan.
Here,
I don't really get
over and help out, like peel for these
overwhelmed by takedowns, and some plays are awesome.
It just shows that DK immense focus on the
Chovy getting caught out here, just trying to put down as much damage as possible on the whole team.
The Senna is just not going to be relevant, it seems like. But you still got the Cassante. They still have the Lolesports to contest. You still have the Azir. And, you know, that advantage doesn't translate unless you can control the map and control every team fight on your terms.
Yeah, and there are ways for Gen.G to still poke and prod their way into team fights, which is what happens here. On the back of a one-team fight.
This was a crazy play.
They make a call for Baron, but then decisively, Gen.G go in.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, this call. I mean, it's beautiful, plus the mechanics of Chovy, which you're never going to be disappointed by. Hits 3 of them, forces 1 flash, and the second Keen's TP comes...
Now, he did have Azanias, so don't try to go do that, kids, unless you have Azania's Hourglass.
DK, this is the one mistake I was talking about. They had an excellent early game. They were ahead, but they go for this Baron. They try to make that decisive Baron call, but it takes them too long, and then eventually they're just sitting ducks for Cassante and Azir.
I mean, Showmaker tried his best to trade some back, and obviously this really is, and I mean, contesting this when Chovy does end up getting that damage done. And then after all of the combos used by Showmaker, Chovy's still able to do damage from a distance. There 2 kills almost taken by Paze's ult there as well. Chovy did all of that before he had Leandri's, by the way. He had his Faded Ashes. If he has Leandri's, I think it's a complete wipe. It's just so crazy how coordinated this team is, even from behind. This is one of the first game states all season would have been technically like behind.
They had to make that Baron play to turn it
I
around.
think we have an idea who it is after the big points for the churchgoer Chovy.
Now, even though this is a global stream, usually speaking on stage, even Lar was able to adhere to that, so I'm not really sure what consistent.
Okay, well, I think that does it for...
Like, obviously, once they lost control, we were like, okay, we're leaning aiming.
What about right media, though? How do we feel about that Nidalee?
The Nidalee is right there with the Chovy. I mean, Chovy made the play with the Azir, but he may not have been the one that called that play. Again, and he also had the Zanyas.
Sometimes you got to fill out the request form for interviews.
So that's it right now for the LCK VOD review of match 37 of the Saturday Showdown of... What week was this of the LCK? I've lost track. Oh well, who cares? I just know it's match 37. It's probably like week 15 by now. So we will have more VOD reviews of the LCK on the Sodaron channel. Just go to twitch.tv/Sodaron. Make sure to tell your friends. Follow my Twitch channel, please. I have a YouTube channel. You could like and subscribe on there if you enjoy my content, and I will keep putting more out and upgrading the channel. Maybe someday new hardware, maybe different games. Right now I've got Monsters and Memories I can play. I've got a lot of Nintendo games I would like to get a capture card and play on here, so there's that. Or maybe we can buy new games. But my little buddy JD says it's time to go as well. So I will catch you all next time. So please make sure, if you want to help support the Sodaron channel, go to twitch.tv/Sodaron and follow. Trying to hit a goal of 50 followers to get the Twitch affiliate. So thank you.